It's a blind Sunday.
Good morning, gearheads. Only 169 more days until football's back, but don't you fret. The Blind Mike Project will give you over 3 hours of action every Sunday, right here on the Blind Mike YouTube channel. Make sure you go to blindmike.net for all things Blind Mike, including Quincy watch-alongs and the Why Are You Laughing catalog. This week on the Blind Mike Project, it would almost be easier to list who's not on the show. Today we have Louis J. Gomez and Dan Soder on JESELNIK, Bill Murray on Rogan, The Fighter and the Kid moved to Austin, a Cometown reunion, Big J. Okerson on Tiger Lily, KHAYLALA, what's her name? Well, she's back and still weird. Have some tea with R. Kelly, although I'd smell the tea first. Opie is the most annoying guy in the bar, and we finish the day with The Goal and Still Toe. Only if you're good little gearheads. Now, here's your host, a man who makes the pillars of media power shake at just the mention of his name, Blind Mike Geary.
It's Tiger Belly. God damn it. God damn it.
Well, what did I say, Tiger Billy?
Electra, please get your shit together.
Well,
Oh my God.
I appreciate the West Coasters getting up with me this early on daylight savings time. Thank you. Casey Day and Electra are here, so I'm sure everyone's very happy, very pleased. There'll be no negative comments, which is nice.
No, that's not how we roll, Mike. We bring in the negativity.
Yes. No, it is. I also don't care for you promising over 3 hours every Sunday.
I thought you'd hear that.
I said I shouldn't say that, but I just did it anyway.
I'm only a man.
Definitely. Nope, you're booked. It's a contract.
Well, we'll see. Today should be pretty easy to get over 3 hours. We might have a long one in front of us. So we shall see. But yes, no Craig this week. He avoids this show like it's a mother coming to pick her kid up from recess, you know? At all costs, he's not here. Oh, Craig did something to annoy me this week. What did he do? God damn it. I can't remember. But I know Why You Laughing is never up on time. So if you're looking for that.
Well, we did have a meeting last night, me and Krager's, about how to get the audio for the Blind Mike Project up earlier. And I did let him know he can download it from YouTube, just like me. And so he's like,
Craig,
oh yeah.
Craig does this every week. And I can't tell if it's a lie. Because it seems like a lie, but he's not making himself look. Usually a lie is to like make yourself look smarter, you know? Craig's lie is always, I'm like, hey, Why Are You Laughing isn't up? And he's like, I had it set for PM instead of AM, which once is perfectly reasonable. But every week it starts to get to be like, do you not know how to tell time? Do you not know what the afternoon is? But
maybe he's learned something about the algorithm that those midnight drops are where it's at, Mike. We need to do those late night Indonesian morning drops, they call that.
Yes. Well, we'll talk about Indonesia later.
Yes. See what I'm doing?
Very, very big in podcasting.
Yes. Huge.
But, you know, if you do miss Craig this week, if you're a Craigophile and you want to go to verygoodshow.org, or you can watch him on, he always watches the Baldwins and Quincy with us, and he's on every Why Are You Laughing? So make sure you check that out. But
this week, Blind Mike, we are going to be doing an unboxing of Very Good Show for one of our member shows. So we're going to be watching an episode. Yes.
That's very interesting.
No
a
one
new one or an old one?
I just picked a random one where they were just watching an old commercial about calling people the R word. And that's what we're going with. And so it's an hour of that. And we're going to, because this has like not been on YouTube forever. It's missing. It's like, they talk about it in lore.
They used to have a guy. I can't believe I'm doing this. Talking about the nostalgia of Very Good Show. They used to have a guy named Mike Harris on. who I enjoy. I liked Mike, and he did some early "Why You Laughing" episodes with us. He was on this program a few times. I enjoyed Mike Harris, and he was sort of the Adam Friedland, if you will, of a very good show. He was like the guy they ragged on, and Mike left the show because he's sort of an unhinged man. And then I guess since then, I can't say I listen every week, but my moles tell me that now every week is just them going, "Oh man, remember when Mike was here? Those were the days."
Yeah, I think we got a since then show, Mike.
So if you want a nostalgia podcast about a show you weren't listening to, remember the good old days of something no one heard. That's a very good show.
And we're bringing it back, Mike.
Yeah, it's buried on Patreon, and God knows how many people watch that because our Patreon's nothing. So Craig has got to be around us, and no one has seen these shows.
Craig should do like all these like old sitcom stars do now, where he just watches old, very good shows.
That's
and he
what
could
we're
be
doing.
like, "Oh well, yeah." I think that'd be interesting. I know you guys do it. It's like when I talk about Quincy, but having Craig there, then it's like, well, he was in the trend. That's one of the guys.
Yeah, we're going to do this, and we're going to bring him on the show when we unbox these, and it's going to be perfect.
That's very exciting.
Yes.
I'm a Craigophile. What can I say?
I understand. How could you not be? So yeah, go to verygoodshow.org or HACKRIDETheDemon.com if you want all things Craig, apparently.
Yes.
And, less importantly, go to blindmike.net. That's where you can support this program. All our links are there. And Craig has... he's pushed me around long enough. He said, the people need Why You Laughing on time. I said, I don't like the idea of that, Craig. I said, I want them to be guessing at all hours. Is the episode up now? I want them refreshing Spotify constantly. And Craig, he poked me in the chest and he said, enough of this harassment of the listeners. You'll get it up on time. And I said, well, fine. I respond to a man in an authority position like that. So I obliged. And Craig promises that all episodes will be available on all platforms on time, henceforth. So make sure you subscribe wherever you get podcasts. If you're watching live on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. All that helps more people find the show. It seems like other podcasters have heard me saying that. It's weird. A guy that never listens to this show is kind of taking some of my advice, which is very interesting. So that's a craze that's sweeping the nation, liking podcasts. So make sure you do that. And if you want to support the show even further, then Patreon or YouTube, you can become a member for early access and bonus episodes. We just did Why You Laughing on Rodney Dangerfield's No Respect, which was a very fun listen. So check that out. Craig was on it, which I know is the big draw. Blindmike.net is where you get all those links. Whew. All right, let's get into it, huh? What are we starting with, Casey Day?
Let's see. What do you think about some JESELNIK talk? Get things rolling.
It's been a while, but you guys noticed probably in December, JESELNIK was getting my goat, this guy. And I'm glad, finally, we talked about the Legion of Skanks, talking about him a little bit, but finally, someone in comedy has stepped up to this guy who's just being a prick to everyone. Finally, someone has commented on it, so I want to applaud the REGZ, particularly my guy Louis J. Gomez and Dan Soder, for finally addressing Anthony JESELNIK, who is just thinks his shit doesn't stink and has just been looking down his nose at everyone else in comedy. Undeservedly, I think, because I think JESELNIK's a great comic. I think his last special was very good, but I think it is extremely corny to be like, guys, aren't I so dark? Aren't I crazy? Like, you're a guy in your 40s and you're like, oh my God, I'm so edgy. Like, getting off to your own material is really gross, I think. So I've had enough of JESELNIK, and it seems other people in the comedy scene have as well. So I'm very happy to start off with this clip right at the end of the REGZ the other day.
Well, there's the other one, too.
What's the
Just
other
put
one?
out a special.
What's the other one? The one that just trashed everybody?
Yes.
That one?
Who? You know. Who?
All right, it's time to wrap up.
They're talking about the subject they were talking about was the best gay comedians of all time, and Joe List suggests there's possibly There's possibly one whose name they shouldn't say. And so
Hey,
that's how this conversation started.
Real quick, there's something going on with your mic a little bit. Can you just double check to make sure that it sounds almost like your computer mic is on.
Oh God.
And not your main mic. Can you just double check that? We've had just one comment, and Electra and I have been talking backstage about it. We just want to make sure, because it kind of sounds like it's picking up the room a lot, and normally it doesn't. It kind of sounds like the computer mic.
I'm gonna have to leave and come back in. Should we start over?
No. No. You sound. We can hear. We can hear you, but we have a 3-hour show, so I just want to make sure it's perfect. And so I think it was just. I don't know. Maybe the wrong mic came in and was chosen. If that's the only way you can choose it, then yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. It's the only way I can do it. But
well, you sound okay. Go. Give me a 1 check, 1 check 2, and Electra, what do you think?
check 1 2 3. Hello. What's
No, that doesn't help. All right, so let's just move on. Let's just keep moving, Mike. And if it becomes a bigger problem, we'll have you jump out and jump in. But it sounds good now. Just stay close to the mic today, if you could. For some reason,
Terrific.
It's a little holler. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Who is it? Tell me in my ear.
What are you, an owl?
Yeah, you know, it's the most dangerous,
That's a pigeon.
dark-minded comedian of all time. Jeselnik, why won't you say this?
Would you do?
Jeselnik, he just came out as bisexual.
Oh,
just
that's-
did.
He's bisexual.
By the way, I found no proof of that. I don't know. I've heard Lewis say that a few times. I don't know if he's just trolling Anthony. They keep saying he came out as bi. I haven't seen that anywhere. But
I found an article in 2024 where he backed out of playing a role of a bi character in a movie, and then he said it was kind of wishy-washy what he said, but you could infer out of that he was possibly.
I don't think that's coming out. So I think
Yes, no.
Lewis might just be fucking with him.
Yeah, and you sound great.
It
Yeah,
is.
you
It is a
sound
little
great.
weird in 2025 to not just be open, but to each their own. I guess It's none of our business. It is a little odd though to like hide that.
Funny, he sucks, but he's very funny. Joke World put out a video of him saying that
The prediction about Shane, where he
The
goes,
prediction about Shane, he was like,
He goes,
this is gonna be
he's
it.
never-
He got fired from SNL. He's gonna be another name
He
we
goes,
don't
"This
talk about in
guy-
a few years.
he goes, this guy, he's nothing. He's going to be nothing.
He's like, now I'm the edgy comedian that everyone loves.
Yeah.
He gave himself a title.
Oh, he
Oh.
stinks,
What was
dude.
the title?
I don't know.
Jeselnik stinks.
I mean, dude, he's a great joke writer, but get the fuck
He
off.
loves the smell of his own shit
Oh my
more than
God. And also-
anybody else.
The delivery of like, do you guys know how dangerous that was? Shut the fuck up. You're a good joke writer. Stop.
Yeah.
I know you're bi, but stop blowing yourself.
Oh,
There you go.
very funny.
I was just glad they finally did that because like Anthony has talked such shit about so many comedians, and I don't know if it's that people are afraid of him. They don't want to give him the attention. I don't know what it is, but he's just run rampant the last few months on the comedy scene, and I'm like, really, no one is coming back at this guy? Because even like when the Legion of Skanks did it, they acknowledged he was funny. Which like there's no one that disrespects Anthony or hates him, yet he has this grudge against all of comedy, I guess. And there's points that he makes that are good points about like the Austin comedy scene, and he was talking about Tony Hinchcliffe, and I agree with him on certain things. And even like the joke he has in his special about cancel culture, where he's like, "You're a comic, do your job." I totally understand his perspective, but then when he's like, I'm the edgy guy. And he got away with, by the way, what they're referencing there with Shane. One of the coldest takes in human history. When Shane got fired, he made a video. We talked about this in an episode of Why Are You Laughing? Where when Shane got fired, Anthony Jeselnik said, "Don't even worry about this guy. You'll never hear from him again. He's garbage. He's a terrible comedian." One of the worst predictions in comedy history that you'd never hear from Shane Gillis again.
That's a Colin Cowherd level take right there.
Yeah. And then he has this completely unlikable quality in a human being where he gets called out for that. Like when Shane hosted SNL the first time, Jeselnik gets called out for that. And he's like, "Oh, I guess I said something about Shane Gillis, and maybe I was wrong. Shane's a good comic, but his fans are the worst. His fans are like, oh, if you don't like Shane, then you don't like comedy." Where it's like, that's not what anyone was saying. He just moves the goalpost. He's an unlikable douchebag. And here's the thing: is like, here's how unlikable he is. I love Jeselnik's comedy. I think he's hilarious. And he has done everything in his power to just leave a gross taste in your mouth when you watch him, where like you don't want to root for him. And it was easy to ignore because his jokes were so good. It was easy to ignore some of the pomposity of it, where it's like, you guys better buckle up because the edgy train is coming to town. Ooh, everyone off the tracks because there's a dangerous man riding into town. It's a thing that like Jimmy Carr does it too. Who I think Jimmy Carr is very funny. But Jimmy Carr will tell a brilliant joke, like an amazingly written joke. And then that'll get a laugh. And then he'll say, well, if you thought that was rough, buckle up for this. And then tells like some joke that you saw on Reddit like 15 years ago. And you're like, oh, why did you set it up that way? It just deflates the entire thing. So like, I don't get guys that do that. And JESELNIK has a lot of that where it's like, I mean, if you think that was rough, strap in. So I'm glad someone finally came back at him a little bit and called him out for what he is, which is a pompous asshole of late.
Yeah, I think he went for that market inefficiency thing, right? He saw so many people on the Rogan side. He's like, well, if I take that other side, there's all this money over there, all these people. No, there's not. Everyone's on the Rogan side. No one's on the other side.
All right. So how do I sound? Am I okay?
Yeah, you sound great now. It's
better.
I think it just, yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
All right. What are we going to do next?
I think it's time for a little awkward Bill Murray on Joe Rogan.
Oh dear.
Okay. Well, no, I have a bone to pick with a gearhead out there. A man named Joe came to me, and he said, Mike, you got to watch Bill Murray on the Joe Rogan Experience. He said the man has lost it. He's in the throes of dementia. He's like, this guy has nothing left. It's actually very sad to watch. And I thought that's strange because he was just on SNL and he did fine. He seemed like he had all his faculties in order. I said, oh, really? He said, oh, my God. He said, you're not going to believe it. I go on the Kirk Minahan show earlier this week, and something came up. I forget what the context was exactly. But I said, I don't want to look like I haven't heard about this Bill Murray thing. I'm going to throw that out there. Hey, we all know about Bill Murray on Joe Rogan, how he's melting down. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I said, oh, I haven't watched it yet, but I hear Bill Murray is, he's riddled with Alzheimer's. Like something bad is happening to Bill Murray. And Kirk was like, are you sure it wasn't just a bit of sorts? That's a Bill Murray thing to do. And I said, by God, my guy Joe wouldn't lie to me. There's zero chance of that. This Joe sends me a message after that program. And he says, Mike, I assure you, this is the phrase he used. He said, Bill Murray's brain is pudding. So I said, all right, Joe, I'm putting a lot of faith in you. So this segment is a punishment to the listeners. Don't make me listen to a 2.5-hour episode of something that you're wrong about. It's bad enough when they send me a 2-minute clip that I have to sit through, and I'm like, well, there's nothing here. This Joe made me sit through 2.5 hours of Bill Murray thinking, all right, where is it? Where has he lost his mind? So we're going to go through, and this man is fine. Some have said he's never sounded better, Bill Murray. So let's hear him on the Joe Rogan Experience. This segment is really just a punishment to Joe for making me do this.
A punishment listen. Nice. This first one's called Introduction.
Yeah, so this is the beginning that everyone was kind of talking about. But this is classic Bill Murray. I think he's doing a bit here. There's no way he hasn't heard the name Joe Rogan. So I think he's fucking with Joe a little bit here.
Freaking love Bill Murray.
Thank you for doing this. This is a huge honor for me. I'm a giant fan. Forever. Like, since I was a kid. So.
Well, are we going?
Yeah, we're
okay,
live.
good.
So for me, there's certain people I meet where it's like, whoa, okay. And you're one of those.
Well, I have a very different experience. I only know about you what I've heard. I've never heard your show. I had to ask you, are you Joe? Because I somehow I knew you were like in the fitness, and everyone out there seems to be a weightlifter. And you're out. Even Danielle seems like she did lower body today. But it's nice to meet you. And people are some people are very, very excited that I've gotten come down here to be on your show. So.
Well, you're an interesting guy.
Other people are concerned for me. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Legitimately?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the. I don't know why it's the weightlifter thing because I have no predisposed. I have no.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing there. The idea that people are afraid with him, like Joe's going to beat him up. Bill knows what he's referencing. People are afraid of me to come on the show, so I'm like, all right. Bill seems sharp there. I think he's fucking with Joe a little bit. But I say, there's this sundowners or whatever the fuck it is with old people. Maybe as this 2.5 hours goes on, Bill starts to lose it a little bit. And I guess we get into what Joe was talking about here. But I got to tell you, this seems more like classic Bill Murray. So what are we doing now?
This one's called Names.
Yeah, I guess this is what the guy was talking about, where his brain is putting. This seems like something Bill Murray does. Like, kind of just disrespects people, which I guess is funny. I don't know. But also, like, he's an old man. He's 75. He's not going to remember every name. This was not worth making me listen to this. And I would have listened to it anyways. But I listened with the ear. It's so much different to listen to something when you're like, where is it? Where is Bill Murray going off the rails? Where is his Joe Biden moment? That's what I expected, was Biden at the debate, where you're like, how did anyone let Bill Murray leave the house? Because that's the picture Joe painted. And I guess this is what he was referring to here.
A punishment, people.
Yes.
I did one with Wes Anderson called The Phoenician something. That's the title. It's, I'm sorry, Wes. The Phoenician, you know what it is? The Phoenician Scheme. And I have a lot of trouble with names nowadays. But the guy who did the set design, can you figure that out? This guy is the most famous. He's the best there is now. These are the most beautiful sets I've ever seen in any movie. Come on. It's coming.
It's
sorry,
kind of funny.
everybody,
It's kind of funny to go, he's the greatest set designer ever. I don't know his fucking name. I think I think he doesn't remember the actual name, but I think he's kind of being funny here. I don't see this like, oh my God, we need to put Bill Murray in a home.
No, he's not being forgetful. He's doing this as a gag.
It's what he's done for 40 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, he comes off as like a folky Midwesterner. Like,
Yes.
that's his thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I remember hearing this story when I was a kid that Bill Murray went up to someone in a restaurant and took fries off of his plate and just whispered, "No one will ever believe you," and walked away. Which is like, but then you hear so many of those Bill Murray stories that you're like, it actually must be exhausting to be around a guy like that because he's always doing shit like that.
I would never get tired of being around someone like that, ever.
Well, that's good to know.
Did you guys see him on Hot Ones? Where they eat the
No, I
chicken
didn't.
wings?
No, we'll talk about that another episode.
Okay.
Punish him with that video next week.
I just haven't been getting enough sleep.
No worries.
Anyway,
The power of the
that's a
internet.
great movie. That we shot that in Berlin, and there's great people in it. It's got I want to say Toshiro Mifune, but it's not. It's the guy who played Che. Come on. Come on, help me out here. All right, you look it up, Jamie. You get back to us with this. Anyway, that movie's coming in a bit. And who? Benito. Yeah. Benito's really good. He's really good, and he's really cool. And Michael Cera, right? Is he the third?
Did you say Benicio? Yeah.
Benicio del Toro. Yeah. I said Benito. You said Benito. You
He's
said
great
Tomato.
in Fear and Loathing as well. He was awesome in that.
He's great. He's
Yeah,
I
he's
really
great in
like
everything.
him. We get on good. And then the daughter, whose name is of Kate Winslet, who is really wonderful. So the three of them are extraordinary in the movie together. And her name's like Cupid or Eve or something. It's crazy.
What's it about?
It's not like he's being like disrespectful to them, I guess. But this is not a man that has lost his mind. Like, I wasn't listening to this being like, oh no, poor Bill. Who let him do this interview? He's fucking around. And he's like being rude to the people he worked with, I guess, if you want to call him out for something. But
It's funny,
so
though.
boring. It's very boring, though.
yeah, it was a boring episode. This
I'm
guy,
laughing, though.
he made me sit through this. No, actually, I'm kidding because I actually thought it was a good episode. I thought Bill Murray was good. And I thought he made a lot of cogent points. And they end up getting into like a debate at the end. I thought he was very good. So I sat through this being like, the other shoe is going to drop eventually. So thanks for nothing, Joe. But there's more. Don't you worry.
Fucking Joe.
Huh? What's her name? Mia. Thank you. See, I told you. Cupid. Something. Mia. I have no idea what it's about. You're gonna.
He never
Like
knows
people with dementia aren't like, see, I told you. So I have no fucking idea. They pretend they know because they're like embarrassed of what's happening to them. Bill Murray's being purposely aloof here. There's no, but that was 2 minutes of a 2.5-hour interview.
I think it makes Joe Rogan more interesting the way he's doing it because Joe Rogan has to like explain things and kind of be the straight
Keeps
man.
Joe on
That's
his
always
toes
fun.
a little bit.
Yes.
Exactly.
Off mic is this next one.
So this was the other thing that people pointed to, but this is vintage Murray, where he's doing offbeat, quirky thing. I think Joe just doesn't like Bill Murray. That's all it comes down. He's like, this guy was my hero. I look up to Bill Murray. It was sad to watch this. I'm like, I don't think you've seen anything Bill Murray's ever done. This is what he does.
He's mad he didn't come in with a lisp and a golf club. He's like, why didn't you come in as that character?
This is like if you watched Harlan Williams eating celery on Joe Rogan and we're like, I think he has like a disease of some kind. I think he's got a brain injury.
Harlan.
And can you pop up on the titles there, maybe? What? No, the other thing. Yeah, these guys directed it. These guys, Scott McGehee and David Siegel, and
Producer
they wrote
nightmare
the
right here.
script from this book, and it's a great script.
Nobody can hear you over there, unfortunately. Nobody can hear you over there. We're gonna have to come back.
Scott.
That was it. It was 30 seconds. And that's what Bill Murray does. Also, he's an old man. He doesn't do podcasts ever. And what annoyed me, I was like, maybe I'm missing something. So let me go to the comments. Because even if this is a great interview, the comments are always brutal. The comments, it's usually just shitheads that hate the podcast they're watching, but watch every week for some reason. So I said the comments will help me out here, and they'll point me in the right direction. It's the only time I've ever seen this with the Joe Rogan Experience. The comments were all, Bill Murray, never better. What an amazing interview this was. This is Joe at his finest. Joe and Bill bring the best out of each other. The comments were all glowing. They inject more Bill Murray into my veins, they said. So even the comments were glowing about this interview. It was very frustrating.
I think Joe played you the same way Bill Murray played Joe.
He fucked me. Joe fucked me.
Intelligence operation. Nixon definitely did the things they.
This one's called Busy. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you.
Yeah, he's bringing up more interesting points in this interview, and he's being like funny. Like you'll hear Bill here, he's kind of fucking with Joe a little bit. He's acting like he's got somewhere to be.
Operation. Nixon definitely did the things they accused him of, but the whole thing was sort of coordinated by the intelligence agents to get Nixon out of office. Apparently, what the story was, according to, I can play you the Tucker thing if you'd like to see it, but apparently what the
That's
story
okay.
was,
I got
it
things
sounds
to
crazy.
Like he's being funny. I got
Things
things
to
to
do.
do.
I'm 73. I got places to go.
Yeah.
All right, next one's called Belushi. Last one.
And this is where like he's bringing up interesting points, and he seems so with it here. I was very annoyed. Once Bill Murray started getting into making interesting points that I hadn't heard before, that's when I really turned my ire toward Joe. You son of a bitch.
In 40 some years, Mike, if you're this sharp, oh my God.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
I
you-
hope so.
yeah.
I'm not this sharp now.
Well, no, yeah.
Right. But however, when I read Wired, the book written by what's his name, Woodward, about Belushi, I read like 5 pages of Wired, and I went, "Oh my God, they framed Nixon." Like all of a sudden, I went, "Oh my God, if this is what he writes about my friend that I've known, for half my adult life."
Yeah.
Which is completely inaccurate, talking to like the people of the outer circle getting the story. What the hell could they have done to Nixon? I just felt like if he did this to my friend like this, and I acknowledge I only read 5 pages, but the 5 pages I read, made me want to set fire to the whole thing.
Jamie, see if you can
Those
find
5
that.
pages, I went, if he did this to Belushi, what he did to Nixon is probably soiled for me too. I can't take it. And I know you say, well, you could have 2 sources and everything like that, but the 2 sources that he had, if he had them for the Wired book, were so far outside the inner circle that it was criminal.
He's being funny. They weren't talking about Belushi. They were talking about Watergate and Woodward and Bernstein. And so for him to bring that up, it's an interesting point. He was interesting. He was funny. So fuck you, Joe. You son of a bitch.
He did it to all of us. Thanks, Joe.
It was very bothersome to me.
All right,
I'm sure
next
Joe's a
up,
good man with the best intentions.
of course. Next up, we have a little fighter and the kid announcement.
Oh, this is very sad. This is the end of an era. The LA boys are leaving their home. They're moving to Austin. I know, it's tough.
What?
I think it's thank you, Electra. very, very genuine reaction. And I think it's even more bothersome for one of the fighter and the kid co-hosts. It seems like something's happening behind the scenes that Bryan Callen did not want out there. So it seems like someone is trolling Bryan or something's happening because Bryan talked to a friend of Brendan's about this move that they're making. The speculation is that Bryan thought when he announced he was moving to Austin that Brendan would be like, well, brother, let's shake hands and part ways. It's been a good, 10, 12-year run, however long they've been doing the fighter and the kid, a long time. And, at least we have our memories. And then Bryan would go to Austin. Brendan would stay in L.A. with his family. Because if you remember, it was pivotal for Brendan that his kids had stability. He retired from stand-up comedy so that dad could always be there. And now they are uprooting their lives and moving to Austin because Bryan wanted to be near the mothership so he could, open for people more.
So Bryan was moving to Austin, and then Brendan just said, okay, I'm going to move with you.
Essentially, they were kind of talking about it for a while, but it seems like Brendan was like, hey, my main source of income is the fighter and the kid, so I kind of got to go as well. It's weird that both these grown men, you could say that that's weird that Brendan's following Bryan. They're both following Joe Rogan. They're both like,
also that.
Well, we're not allowed at the Comedy Store as much because Joe's not here to protect us. So let's loiter outside of his club and see if we get let in.
Maybe they'll get let in. Maybe.
And
So,
Joe is following a DMT elf, so they're all just following nonsense.
yeah. So let's hear them talk about the fighter and the kid moving because I don't know how long this will last based on what Brendan is suggesting here.
I told you to remind me. I'll do this off air, but we can do it here. Mutual friend of ours apparently talked the other day. Talked to him today, and he goes, man, yeah, I talked to Bryan, so, how long you guys think you do firing the kid? I go, and he goes, yeah, clearly you guys don't like doing it. And I go, huh? You're talking to Brendan, man. It's me. He goes, yeah, I know. It's running a short leash. You guys gonna stop doing it when you get to Austin? I go, fighting the kid? He goes, yeah.
Hold on. Did one of the homeless cats get Brendan Schaub's number? It's hilarious just to text him. This guy must have known what he's doing. You text or call Brendan Schaub and you just go, yeah, so Bryan Callen pretty much hates doing the show with you. That's not news to you, certainly, is it? Oh, it is? Whoops.
No, his first text back is, this is Brendan. Did you mean to send that to someone else?
That's a good point. Yeah. Did you mean to say, are you and Bryan talking shit about me? I'm used to that.
Let me go through this right. Firing a kid could make $0, and me and Bryan would still do it every week.
Yeah, I'm
it's
sure
never
his
been about
full-time staff that's moving with him loves hearing that. Literally, right after this, they go to the producer like, "You're in for the move, right?" And he's like, "Yep." We could make $0 and we'll still keep doing it. Keep in mind, by the way, Bryan Callen was thrown off the show when he was Me Too'd, and so literally. Because of the money they were making, they stopped doing the fighter and the kid together. So it's literally not true, and there's proof of it. But I'm glad that's the fairy tale that Brendan believes now.
And keep in mind that you can also do everything remotely now.
Yeah, I don't know. I would, if that was the setup they had, I would want to keep doing it in the same room. It does lose something when you're not in the same room. Like
the chairs make this show. Without them, I think you're in trouble.
No, but there is just when you're having a conversation like this. Like I would prefer to do it everyone in the same room. It's just not possible with us, really. But like, that is the best way to do a show, I think. So it does make sense that they would want to move together. And having guests in, it's worse on StreamYard or Zoom or whatever. So
it has nothing to do with that.
Right.
He goes, really? I go, yeah. He goes, oh, I just figured the vibe, like after talking to Bryan, and talking to you, I went, oh, you're so off, dude.
Yeah.
I said, I talk to Bryan every day.
Yeah.
It doesn't even go into Brendan's head where he's like, yeah, the vibe I got from talking to Bryan. And Brendan was like, oh, you're wrong, because he doesn't say that stuff to me. It's like, no, Brendan, maybe pick up on the fact that he is saying it to strangers. Bryan, to anyone else that will listen, be like, I can't believe this fucking guy's followed me down there. I thought I was free.
Social cues are hard for Brendan. It's a hard.
No, you know what? I do. I say that somewhat jokingly. I think Brendan is a little smarter than he lets on. I think that's why he's bringing this up in front of everybody. There's a weird dynamic that I didn't really know about until recently. I guess I always assumed, because of who Brendan is, I assumed he was the punching bag of the show. I thought he was the big dummy. Like, everyone knows he could rip your head off, but they also know he's an idiot and kind of goof on him. I guess it's the opposite, where Brendan is the alpha, Bryan is the beta that Brendan makes fun of. So Bryan is the punching bag of the show, which I didn't know that until recently. So I think this is Brendan kind of alphaing Bryan, being like, yeah, I don't know, man. Some people say you're talking shit about me. That's probably not true, right? And then Bryan has to sheepishly go, oh, man, yeah, I guess he's... I don't know where he got that, other than directly from my mouth.
So I have a buddy that just watches this show religiously, and I said, tell me one thing I don't know about Bryan Callen. And he said, Bryan Callen loves being a troll. He loves getting... So he's kind of way dirtier than you think he is, as far as, like... That's why he sticks with Brendan, because he likes the trolling that comes with that.
You could tell he got Matan Evan. Like, I think he liked doing Matan's show, which speaks to that. Is your friend... Let me ask you this, because we've often talked about meeting, like, a genuine Fighter and the Kid fan.
Yes.
Is he a little off, this guy? What's the...
little
deal?
Yeah,
okay, he's what you'd expect.
Yes,
okay,
but also he understands that Brendan Schaub's a joke, but he's like, we're in on it. Everyone's in on Bappa. We love Bappa.
All right,
so it's our conversations are 95% Bappa. It's
okay. I thought you only talked to me in the studio. I'm like, buddy. I said, dude, I can't tell you how off you are. He goes, really? I go, yeah.
Who is this?
I'll tell you off air.
Oh, it's so funny.
He goes, really? I go, oh, but you're taking...
because
I said, you're either taking what I'm saying out of context or what Bryan's out of context. I said,
I can't... We're not talking enthusiastically because we're...
I said, I can't emphasize it. Or maybe when he's talking to us, there's just issues, maybe. I don't know.
I never said that.
But he was like, what? I'm like, you're so off.
I like that Bryan's like, who was this? Which one of the 40 people I've talked shit to you about is this? Who do I have to cut out of my inner circle?
Mike, so what's going on physically here, and this is why the show is also great in person, is as the conversation gets tighter, they got the legs crossed real tight. These balls are getting squashed, and both of them. It's
both of
I could
them.
never
They
sit.
are
I could never
so
sit like this.
I know.
It's like a metaphor for the conversation. The ball's in a vice.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
We're going to Austin together, dude.
Yeah, I told him, I said, Bryan bought a house before me. He goes, really? I never thought he was going to go. I'm like, yeah, he bought the house before I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I gotta say, now if Brendan's lying, if this is just a writing sample of Brendan's, he's got to work on the character arc, because a moment ago he was like, yeah, Bryan moving to Austin probably means the show is done, right? And now this character is like, man, I never thought I'd see the day. Bryan's not moving to Austin, is he? It's like the guy is completely reversed, where a minute ago he's like, there's no way you're following Bryan, and now he's like, there's no way Bryan's going to Austin. So Brendan's just lost the arc of this man that maybe he created to confront Bryan.
No, we both have houses. Yeah.
And it's going...
Isn't that weird, though?
It's going to go strong.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're so off.
People get different ideas.
Yeah. Weird,
yeah,
right?
This is where I'm saying I think Brendan's a little... He's like, isn't that weird? Isn't that weird that this guy said you talked a bunch of shit about me? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that he would just make that up? Like, Brendan's kind of like menacing. And
Bryan's like on his phone, not even paying attention to the conversation. He's just looking at his phone. It's very uncomfortable.
Well, All right.
Takeaway.
What it is.
Yeah, you'll know.
Very interesting.
Chin, how are you feeling about Texas? Now that it's getting real.
I told my parents yesterday because they came to
How'd
visit
they
me
take
yesterday.
it? I did get a call from your dad.
I know. Did he?
How'd they
was he
take it that
crying
I
or no?
said, even if we were making $0, if we were bankrupt, I would keep doing the show down there?
Oh, he's like, I can't wait to get this kid out of here.
No, they're everyone's cool with it, man. Yeah, like I said, I don't have.
I haven't got pushback from anyone. A few people expected, but for the most part, everyone's stoked. Stoked.
Yeah, I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. Like,
yeah, you're the perfect kid.
Yeah,
to
this
go.
is like the best time to give it a shot.
Just
So
up and go.
yeah.
You get any pushback on your friends or family?
Oh no,
No, right?
not at all.
Most people are like,
Ryan seems like he doesn't want to be having this. He's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, Electra was
Exactly.
right. He is
He's
not.
he's
paying
not
attention.
into this conversation.
No, he is checked out.
Which
Yeah,
which
right.
to me suggests like he actually was talking shit about Brendan.
Yes.
He's like, let's
Got
just
me.
let's move on, huh?
And Brendan started this conversation with, "Oh, we should do this off the air." Here we go, diving right in. And so he knew. They both knew where this was going.
That's right. All of them.
Our boy AG from Toehold was like, I can't believe Brian's going. Everyone's like, I can't believe Brian's going. I'm like, yeah, man.
Yeah. Come on, man. Let's go.
Who are all these people that couldn't fathom Bryan? I just assumed he was going in 2020 when Rogan moved. I think everyone thought these two would go. Who are all these people reaching out going, I can't believe it. Bryan Callen is going the only logical place for him to do comedy. That's the only place in the world that makes sense for you two to live. You're going. I can't wrap my head around it.
Where 90% of the people already think you live.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you just ask someone, like a casual comedy fan, you'd be like, I don't know, did they move to Austin?
Yeah. 10 years ago, didn't they move there?
Been there.
So I don't know.
All
I
right.
guess they'll still do The Fighter and the Kid, but we'll see how long that lasts because there's
Oh,
trouble in
please.
paradise.
Oh, please keep that show going forever.
Yes.
Those chairs and those ball vices that you guys got. That is an A+ show.
Yes.
Mike, we have some super chats here. Let's get to
Well, let's
these
read
and
them.
then get to the terrible Billy Corgan. All right, Electra.
Dennis in East Boston. Mike, do you know if Laconia show will be released?
To my knowledge, no. They might release, like while Kirk's out, maybe they'll release a couple of the videos, but those are almost always, I think they always have been, exclusively for the people there. So if you didn't go, you missed out, Buster.
I don't know that word. What's a Laconia? Anyway, moving on.
Coming in with $2, Jimmy's neglected mother. Morning, boys.
Good morning.
Morning.
And I would like to add, I'm not a boy, but hi, Jimmy.
Let's leave the riffing to me, huh? Prove it. Prove it.
And coming in with $20, Harley Dad. All of this is for the wonderful, amazing DJ Electra.
Oh, there
Please.
you go.
Damn it. What a horrible time.
got
There
you.
you go.
Perfect timing. Perfect. All right, Blind Mike, you ready to talk about the terrible, awful, no good Billy Corgan?
You're not a fan of Billy Corgan.
Oh, did I say that out loud? No, he's
Wait, Billy Corgan's really on the show? We're really talking about Billy Corgan? I thought that was just you
No,
fucking
yeah.
with me, Casey.
No, he's really on the show. But
Oh my
let's-
god.
Is that all right?
Mike, is that okay?
Yeah, I just did a show about Smashing Pumpkins yesterday.
Okay. Maybe 40% less Electra today, huh?
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself now. I'm muting myself.
No, we don't have to overreact, but
Mute.
I learned Electra's trial by fire. He just- She's
well, yeah,
swinging
no,
today, though.
my co-host Electra is very passionate about this, but yeah, Billy Corgan was on the Joe. We're going back to Joe Rogan. He was on the Joe Rogan Experience this week. Where were you on, Casey, when we talked about the Howie Mandel thing, or was that Craig? I
Yes.
can't remember.
No, it
you
was
were
me.
on.
Yes, yep.
It was very
Does Billy
weird.
Corgan look like Bill Burr, or is it just me?
What's happening today?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna mute now.
As a matter of fact, Electra, he does look like Bill Burr.
Thank
It's
you.
weird that you would say that. And that happens to be what we're talking about today. Gang, you may remember a few weeks ago when we discussed Bill Burr and Billy Corgan together on the Howie Mandel show. Howie Mandel does stuff. So it's crazy. As a matter of fact, those two are linked together. A lot of people think they look alike. It's a very interesting observation. And as a matter of fact, that's what Billy Corgan is addressing here. We like to segue into that very naturally by just blurting it out. Does he look like him? Yes.
I'm muted.
He does. It doesn't sound like it. I can still hear you. So Billy Corgan was on the Joe Rogan Experience addressing exactly that. It was very weird. And I remember saying it was a very weird bit to do because there was no payoff. I think we actually have an answer to that here. Billy Corgan seemed very confused by it, which I think is the answer now. The payoff for the bit is this, that there is no answer. And Billy Corgan explains that to Joe Rogan here.
This is what's crazy. Okay. You want the whole setup story?
Sure.
I could be quick
Sure,
about
sure,
it.
sure.
So where I tape my podcast is in one of Howie Mandel's buildings, and he has another building in this area. So I was working on something, and I was supposed to go on Howie's show that day. And they said, Howie will meet you out in the street or something for whatever reason. So I go out in the street, and the first thing Howie says to me when he sees me, he goes, "Here comes Bill Burr." And I go, "You too? Like, do you know this story?" And he said, "No, I don't know about it." And I said, "You know what? Heck with it. I'm just going to tell it on your show, so don't ask me anymore." And I went on a show, and I told this story about how 10 years ago my stepmother came to me and said, "Do you know who Bill Burr is?" I'd never heard of Bill, didn't know who he was, because I don't really consume much, popular culture. I had no idea he was a famous comedian. He could have been the lawnmower guy. Looked up Bill. First thing I saw was like, oh my God, he looks just like Daddy. When I was 18 years old at an IHOP on my 18th birthday, my father told me, "You have a half-brother that I sired at the same time as you, whose name is Bill." So suddenly these facts come together. My mother telling me these stories. I talked to my dad subsequently about it, and he was very cagey about it. And when I said, "Why won't you tell me where this person is or who this person is?" he said, "I'm trying to protect you." So when my stepmother had told me, it kind of made sense. Like, well, if my half-brother is the super famous comedian, my dad, in a way, wouldn't want me to know because he wouldn't want me to feel like I was number two because Bill's so famous. I know it sounds crazy,
What a
right?
bizarre. When was this conversation happening? Because Bill Burr surpassing Billy Corgan in fame probably only happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe?
I don't even know that he has surpassed Billy Corgan in fame.
Well, that's another debate I suppose we could have. But my point is, when my point is, we may. My point is, for Billy Corgan to be having this conversation and be protected by his father, you'd think he'd be very young. You don't think he'd be a 46-year-old man. And the dad going, "Well, son, I don't know that I'm ready to admit that to you." It's very weird that a middle-aged man is having that conversation.
That's why he was trying to protect you?
Well, I don't know. So fast forward to Howie saying something on the street. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say something. And I swear to God, hand on my heart, last time I was with you in California, I almost pulled you aside after we were on, and I was going to tell you the story because I knew you knew Bill, and I was going to back channel see if there was anything to the story from Bill's side.
Wow.
So imagine 6 or 7 years since we talked on your show.
Yeah, I don't even know.
2018, somebody said to me today. But so anyway, started talking over. But the point is so here I am, fast forward. I'm just sick of seeing memes of my face with Bill's. And so I just decide on a spur of the moment, So Howie, of course, loves it. But I said on Howie's show that first time, I don't think Bill's my half-brother. I don't think there's anything there other than an uncanny resemblance. Fast forward, the thing comes out, it gets a little bit of social media, and then it goes away. And I think, good. And Bill didn't say anything, so I figured Bill was kind of like, whatever. It was a mild amusement. He could have made a joke out of the whole thing, and he didn't. So then Howie calls me, and I'm in L.A. working recently, and Howie's like, "We've come on the show, Bill's going to be on." And I said, "Is Bill cool with it?" "Oh, yeah, no problem." So then I go there, and it's like, it turns into this thing that you see happening on camera. It's like, it's weirdness times, it's like a skit, but it's real. And Bill's on me, then Bill's on Howie, and it gets just, okay. So I just told you basically everything I know, okay? I have people I've known for 20, 30 years coming up to me going, "What do you think?" And I said, I don't think we're related. I mean, yeah, there's a resemblance, but I don't think we're related. "Well, did you get a DNA test?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. There's nothing to get a DNA test for." "Well, I think he's your brother." So people that know me, and I'm telling them I don't think he's my brother, now they want a DNA test to prove it. That's how much it's taken on a life of its own.
Do you think it's just because they want a DNA test because it's fun if he's your brother?
No. They're convinced.
For real, for real?
Yes.
Really?
For real. I swear to God. I mean, people I'm close to, people that were at my wedding, I'm like, they're like, no, you need a DNA test.
Did Bill's dad know, well, did your dad know Bill's mom?
No, my father wouldn't talk to me about it at all.
So it's I guess the reason there was no payoff is because Howie Mandel thought, let me bring Billy Corgan in and make it weird for Bill. And in a brilliant move, I apologize to Bill Burr. I didn't understand the point of Bill going along with that bit. But Burr didn't know about it, and they expected him to be like, what the fuck is this? Instead, Burr went along with it and made it awkward for them, so they had to keep playing into it, which is actually brilliant. So now I understand the payoff of Bill being like, what the fuck? I thought we weren't going to talk about this. What the fuck are you doing? Because I remember watching it being like, why would Bill Burr go along with this stupid thing? But they were trying to like prank him, and he turned it into a prank on them. It's brilliant. Kudos to Bill Burr. That was amazing.
Sometimes you play the long game, Mike.
Which I guess he did, because now Billy Corgan is so puzzled, and he doesn't know who his family is. He's literally on Joe Rogan, like, I don't even know who my dad is anymore. I don't know what to make of any of this.
He asked Joe Rogan for a swab. He's like, are we related?
Joe's like, I'll pay for the DNA test, and he's like, I don't even know if I can handle it, man. Like, I don't know.
Oh no.
I don't know what's real anymore.
Mm-hmm. This next one's called Not a Skit.
Yeah, so it wasn't a bit, I guess. It wasn't a thing they were doing, at least not unless Howie Mandel talked to Burr beforehand. But that's why it was so well done, because no one was in on the fact that the other person was in on it, I guess.
In that same thing with my stepmother, she told me that she thought my father had sired 12 children.
Whoa.
All over the place. All over the place. He was a traveling musician and a whore to his own admittance.
A Crow Marty.
So it kind of makes sense. He once told me he'd slept with 1,000 women. So
Jesus.
12 out of 1,000, you know what I mean? It's
normal odds.
The math is
actually pretty good.
Yeah. And so when I went to my father and I told him what my stepmother had said, he got really cagey and wouldn't tell me anything. He promised me that he would write down the names of the illegitimate children on a piece of paper so I could find them after he died.
Oh my
and
God.
he's died and there's no paper.
Oh my God.
So now I got people wanting DNA tests because they're convinced that Bill is my half-brother.
Is Bill willing to do a DNA test?
I think that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
no, you have to do it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, first of all, to Bill's credit, he's been everything you saw on camera was his general irritation on the thing, but he also kind of finds it funny because he's a comedian.
I thought it was a skit. I thought you guys put together a skit. I really did. I thought you got, because I thought,
I think that's what everyone thought, except for the people that thought it was real. Like, there were some people sending me that, like, hey, this is pretty crazy, huh? I think anyone else that knows, like, kind of what Howie Mandel does, what Bill Burr does, I think they thought it was like a not rehearsed thing, but a thing that everyone agreed upon. And Howie and Burr agreed to it, apparently, but it has left Billy Corgan a shell of a man. He's like, no, please don't bother Bill with this anymore. He seems very angry. I don't want to upset him.
I thought you guys were just fucking around. You like pro wrestling. I thought you guys just decided to troll the world.
Let me put it to you this way. Have you ever seen it? And well, I'm assuming, but you tell me if I'm wrong. Two guys get in the ring to roll around a bit, right?
Okay.
They're bros. They're going to roll around a bit.
Uh-huh.
Emotions kick in, and next thing you know, somebody's tapping somebody out.
Right.
Do you ever see that happen?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the heat of that moment with Bill and Howie egging it on, you know, like the emotionality of the thing came out because it's a sort of it's sort of a weird thing where like we're suddenly in the middle of a situation. It's like a meta situation.
Right.
So yes, on some level we were playing along, but then it starts to become like, wait, this is kind of weird, and then it starts to kick in, and then Billy Bush is in there, and it took on a life of its own.
Fucking Billy
So
Bush.
it really was like Burr just fucking with him, and I guess Billy Corgan at some point during that episode was like, I don't want to play anymore. He seems mad. So now, like, I think this is the payoff where I was watching it like, why is Bill Burr going along with this? But I guess his going along with it was making everyone in that room uncomfortable, which now is brilliant in hindsight. So applause to Bill Burr for that, because I didn't get it. Now I do. And I like that Billy Corgan has been left just wandering the streets, wondering who his family is.
So they're
You know what?
brothers, right? Half brothers?
No.
That's what Electra. Maybe go back to bed. Maybe take the rest of the day off.
I was gonna say, Mike, Billy. God damn it, fuck it, she ruined it for me. I was gonna say he's trapped like a rat in a cage. Moving on.
Oh, that's fine.
Thank you. It was gonna be good.
If he got it out, it would have been great.
Yes. Cumtown up next. Great Cumtown guys reunited.
This is big news for someone like me. And again, if this was the long play, then I owe everyone an apology, because this is very tastefully done. Because for years I've said, I never really understood. We did a history of Cumtown episode on Why You Laughing. And my one gripe with the boys, I never understood why. So when Stavros left that podcast, he just did like a notes app screenshot where he's like, it's been fun, everyone. I was on and now I'm gone. Like, he just left without really saying anything. And then the show became the Adam Friedland show. And there's no closure to it. And I think that it may sound gay, which when I talk about Cumtown, I'm very gay. So it may sound gay to you people, but I think closure is nice for any podcast or radio show. I think that's still why there's debate about the Opie and Anthony show and them reuniting and all that shit, because there's no closure. There wasn't the ability for them to do one final episode where everyone accepts that was it. Whether we like it or not, that was it. It was always this open-ended thing of like, will they get back together? Do they hate each other? What's going on? And it seemed like there was like resentment from Nick, where he would take jabs at Stavros. It seemed like Stavros got to the point where he thought he was above them and didn't really want to associate with them. There were weird times where like he wouldn't really mention their name, it seemed. And that might be people reading too much into it as well. But that is how it came off to fans. So 3 years later, in very Cumtown fashion, they just randomly dropped a half hour on their Patreon, and it sounded like this.
We're so excited for you, Nick. I'm so proud of you.
Severed lime.
Yep.
Is that a pun? Is that a pun?
I think severed. Is that a pun? What would it be?
It's like we should ask Tom Myers.
Yeah, he would know.
That's like a Tom joke.
Guys, we try to get Scumbag Vinny. Oh, for the finals, but you're just gonna have to deal with the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry guys. Sorry, I know you were looking forward to the four of us being back together for the last time.
We should have done a Seinfeld finale where they just got every.
Where's a clip show?
Where it's like a clip show.
Yeah.
We should have just gotten every like. Remember that one bitch that just took. She took
the train.
She's just some girl.
Nick said yes.
Oh yeah.
I've tried to instill this in my friend Tom Myers. It would have been so great if they just came back for a final episode and it was the three of them and Tom Myers just talking.
That would be great.
Wouldn't it be nice if Tom played along like that? Tom, I know we're buddies now. If you're listening to this, play along when something like that. Maybe they didn't reach out to Tom, but if that ever comes across your desk, play along with it. I see Tom trying to kind of rebrand himself, and he seems rejuvenated about broadcasting. So I could say anything to my buddy Tom Myers. It's keep going after that scumbag Lady K, who trashes you completely unprovoked. But when it comes to Nick Mellon, try to mend that. Try to have some kind of closure with them. Because if we learned anything from this episode, it is nice to have closure. It was very Cumtown, where they just came back. It just starts. There's no intro or anything. It's just them midway through a sentence when it picks up. Stavros is kind of off mic. Like, it was not planned at all. It's very sloppy in Cumtown style. And they just did a half an hour, and there was no pomp and circumstance to it. And that's all they needed to do for people to feel like, all right, it's over. It's sad, but it's finally over. So they reunited for a finale, which is very nice. We have a couple more clips.
So anyway, yeah, that's just
Is this a quick thank you? What is this? A full
think so.
podcast?
It was just fun to riff, but
Yeah, we want
we're
to
just
say,
saying
thanks everybody for subscribing years and years ago,
and forgetting.
Probably.
And thank God somehow your bank didn't cancel it.
Right, yeah.
And we understand that this will go to zero really fast.
Probably.
I'm actually shocked. You guys did your best to get it to zero this year.
We've
leaving
tried.
me with crumbs.
It's the producers.
When I'm finally back in,
Yeah.
we're basically splitting $4,000 three ways. But
No, it's like around $400,000 a month.
Yeah,
I
it is.
yes, that's sick. Okay, well,
Thank you to everyone.
Thank you to everyone. We love you.
Thanks, guys.
And so we're all doing our own thing, obviously, but this stays as sort of like an archive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
something
we'll
like
split
that.
the
This
money.
is a quick thank you, not a full podcast?
We're about to do another fucking podcast.
We're doing a full podcast for you?
Yeah. Little reparations.
I would love to do a podcast.
So I guess they're leaving the Patreon open as like a come town museum, which I think is pretty smart. I think some people might criticize them and say like you're just charging a lot of people that will forget to cancel it. But like I do think there's enough content on there. If all the old come towns are up there, I think that's worth $5 a month to a lot of people to go back and find. Now, the argument will be they're pretty much all on YouTube, I think. But but if you want to keep supporting the boys until the end of time, then you should feel free to do that. So I thought that was very nice that there's a Come Town archive out there and that they'll still be in Come Town style. They will be putting no effort into this. And now it's literally no effort. They won't even be showing up and will be raking in gobs of money somehow. They really blazed a trail for very lazy podcasters. It's kind of nice.
Well, speaking of lazy, oh my God, this ending. So the end is.
Well, this is what I mean though. It was very Come Town. It was perfect Come Town for 28 minutes in. They just shut the podcast off to fuck with Adam. So I don't know. I'd be curious to hear the response from Come Town fans, but I, as one, was like, this is kind of the way to go out for them.
Well, that's our. We also, we needed to end this on a serious political PSA.
Yeah.
For the most part, we are political. We were always a political podcast. So
Yes.
I guess.
Elon's gay.
You know,
stuff.
you can't not be. If you're not political, that's privilege. That's what I learned, dude. If you don't have an opinion, I think that's because you're privileged.
So
Can I say one thing, Soph?
No.
Please?
Actually, no. End it now. End it now. That's it. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Quit it now.
Adam wants to say something sincere, and they literally just end like randomly 28 minutes in. So it was nice to see them have a reunion for a finale. And there's a minute where you're listening, and you're like, did they just upload like an old recording that they had or something? Like you're not even sure that it's now at first, until they mentioned something about like the Trump inauguration. So you're like, okay, we're in real time. But there's a thing happening in podcasts where I think a lot of stand-ups that are successful now did not envision themselves getting into podcasting. It's a newer, relatively, a newer idea that you get into stand-up, but maybe you're more known for essentially doing radio. That's not what a lot of these guys envisioned as a kid. You know what I mean? Like you wanted to just make it doing stand-up, and now they have this separate side project that a lot of them seem very resentful of, and they talk about the fans that are obsessed with this, and they kind of shit on the fans. Like they're like, oh, it's so gay of them to care about a podcast this much. But like I look at it as if you're putting out a product like that, not only should you care about it, you should be grateful that the fans care that much to gossip and think Stav has lost touch or that like they're not uploading the show on time or whatever. I get that a lot of it gets very annoying. We deal with a microcosm of it, and it can be annoying at times, but then like when you step back, you're like, how nice is it that anyone gave a shit about this? Like the idea that these three guys showed up and just called Adam a bug and called Stav fat, and Nick would talk about wanting to off himself, and that made $100,000 a month. it's like an uplifting story that people cared that much about these three idiots, and I'm glad they kind of got together and put some closure on it. It sounds like they're also doing an episode of Stavros's show. That the way Stavros releases them, that might not be out for a month or so, but maybe they'll get more into their breakup on there. But for now, we do have a finale to Come Town, which is very nice. And in Come Town, in Come Boy fashion, they ripped that off their Patreon and uploaded it immediately to YouTube for people like me to steal. So thank you to everyone involved in Come Town. And it's nice to finally put a cap on that thing.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds like they're like in band terms, they like change genres. So it's kind of they don't do that genre anymore, but every once in a while they get back together and they play jazz.
Yeah, that actually is a good way to put it because they're all doing different things now. Like Adam wants to become a real interviewer, which like people give Adam a lot of shit, but I've listened to his interviews. He is pretty good and gotten better. Like Stavros does his own thing now. Which is very different from Come Town. And we'll see what Nick does, but like I really think Nick is a comedy genius. So hopefully he figures something out. So they're all doing their own thing in their own different ways. And yeah, maybe every once in a while they come together to let us relive what is one of the greatest podcasts ever.
Never listened to it until you suggested it. Now I'm a fan. So
good.
Up next, we have some Tiger Belly. Not like Electra said, with Big J Oakerson.
What a bitch, huh, guys?
I might write those, but yes, not her fault. Yes, but Big J.
Yeah, so it sounds like Bobby Lee's doing Skankfest, and this warmed my heart as well, where it seems like comedians are really coming. This is another trend that I don't care for. Like I heard Renan Hirschberg was recently on Lewis and Zach, and they were talking about like women that Renan found attractive, and Lewis was kind of like shitting on him for it. But it seemed like pretty good natured. And then I hear Renan on his podcast calling Lewis like this pig, like this sexist fucking monster. Like they're kind of like shitting on Lewis. And I don't really love that because I think there is a self-awareness that Lewis has to a lot of this stuff. And I think what he provides the comedy really is great, and I think helped people in a time where we could have gone one of two directions. Like comedy could have gone to a place where there was a lot more censorship and people worrying about brand deals and stuff like that. And I think Lewis has given an outlet to people with things like Skankfest where you can be yourself, whatever that is. A lot of people denigrate that into saying like, oh, you have to say the N-word or talk about like rape or something in order to be part of Skankfest. That's not true. You can literally do whatever you want. And there's an eclectic mix of comics there. So I'm glad to see more people starting to respect Lewis a little bit. And that's what I took away from this conversation with Bobby Lee and Big J Oakerson.
Well, I want to apologize is that over the years, I've been invited to a variety of different Skankfest.
Sure.
And I never even would reply.
Nice.
I don't know what it was. Like, I didn't know what it was until I was doing a show with Burr in Vegas. And who's that clean comic? He's really popular.
Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, him.
It's bizarre how out of touch Bobby is that he doesn't know who that is. Who's that guy, Nate Bargatze?
Is he doing a Bill Murray on us?
He might be, yeah. He would have to be, I think.
I'll do an impression, but let's
That's
go
good.
to Skank.
Get on.
So I went into his car. I love him. What a nice guy. And Nate and I went, and it blew my mind. Like I thought, like Skankfest was like 20 people. It's an actual.
It was at one point
convention, and it's also people that are huge. You know what I mean? My fans.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, oh, this is something I want to do every year.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
We're in New Orleans this year now.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
When is it?
It's in November. Nope. Yes.
I got to go.
September or November. I can't remember.
Do you think Bad Friends can do something there or something?
100%.
Like we'll do a live pod there or something?
No, they will absolutely. Yeah. November.
We got to go.
16th. It's
I'm going to ask.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, Rebecca and Christine will be reaching out to you very shortly anyway because they're getting all the bookings done now.
Well, to ask them to, if they can hear me now, give Bad Friends an offer.
I like that he's like, hey, would it be okay if we brought like one of the biggest podcasts to that? But like, it warmed my heart a little bit as a guy that goes to Skankfest every year, and like a lot of it is jokes and fucking around with Lewis and the fans, but there's this notion that like they're all scumbags there, like they're pieces of shit, and it actually gets a little frustrating sometimes because like when you're there, comics lean on like, oh, these fucking racist fans and all that. Like that's a big joke there, and it is like when you interact with some of these people. It's a group of the. I would say this about like the Minifans all the time as well, where like there's this notion of them online, and when you meet them, it's the warmest, sweetest group of people, you know. So like it's nice that people are starting to recognize that and recognize what Skank. Because on the surface, I get why Skankfest is a little abrasive and it might be off-putting to people. So I'm glad people are starting to recognize what it actually is. But in terms of reading the room. There is someone involved with Tiger Belly that doesn't really. It's very puzzling to me, and it's puzzling why Bobby Lee puts up with it. I wasn't aware of what was going on with KHAYLALA and her life, but my boy Unique Kyle Scion Z, as he's formerly known, he's out of prison apparently. This guy, he's one of the original like comedy reporters that I found. Like he started talking about Opie and Anthony like 11 years ago, and that's how I found his YouTube channel. He's a mush-mouthed guy, drunk from Rhode Island, and a couple weeks ago he made a video. He's like, "Sorry guys, sorry I haven't made any videos. I was in prison." He's just like in jail for a few months and came back to report the news, and that's how I found out this about Bobby Lee and KHAYLALA.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything either.
You had a family get together.
No, we didn't.
That's what she said.
We had dinner. Dinner?
Yeah, with everyone.
No, not everyone.
Who was there?
Just me, my mom, Jules, my sister.
Yeah, and there's not a big entity there either. Was there a big entity there or not?
Here's why I don't want to talk about the big entity.
Yeah.
Because every time I want to talk to you about the big entity, you shut it out. You're just like, I don't want to talk about the big entity.
Yeah.
You like want to pretend that.
Well, there's an entity. Okay, let me just say something, okay? When there's entities around,
okay,
all right, in my house or anywhere, right, I always call it out. I go, there's the entity. You know what I mean? But you don't bring up the entity. You know what I mean?
You don't.
The reason why I don't come to the dinner because the entity's there. I'm scared of entities.
Check your check. What does your text message say? Do you want to go to dinner with a big entity?
I don't want to. No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be around the entity.
Bobby, it's been years.
Yeah, I know.
Can we just
I can't
get on with it?
I can't.
I've met so many of your girlfriends.
So the speculation there, Casey, you may not be aware of what's happening with this podcast or what has been happening for a few years. I'll explain it to you. Bobby Lee and KHAYLALA were probably legally in a civil union. Like they lived together for 10 years. They were essentially married and they started this business together. And then a year or two ago, I'm starting to forget, they broke up and they kept doing the podcast together. And it was a little weird because they would each start dating. A lot of people suggest that KHAYLALA cheated on Bobby. I think they've talked about having been in an open relationship that was really only open in one direction, I think.
Okay.
So
yes.
KHAYLALA's been very disrespectful towards Bobby. But what's weird is Bobby keeps himself in that situation. So it's hard to really criticize her for it. So what's happening is within a year of them breaking up, it seems like KHAYLALA had a child and hid the pregnancy.
Heyo.
And she suffered from Bell's palsy a while back. And people are now saying that makes sense because it's a common symptom of pregnancies, that a side effect of pregnancies that may go wrong, that matches up with certain things. I don't know what's happening with these two, but it's a very weird environment. Imagine sitting there with who was the love of your life for a long time, and now she's out fucking guys, and now apparently has a kid that she brings around you, and you have to run a business with this person. That's very weird. Poor Bobby.
Yeah, that's awful. I turned on the show once and she goes, I may have had sex with my brother. And then I turned it right off.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm done with this.
KHAYLALA's very weird and seems very disrespectful to Bobby. And that's a lot of the talk. If you go to any of their subreddits around this show, KHAYLALA has one, Tiger Belly has one. There's a lot of bashing KHAYLALA and poor Bobby, but it's Bobby keeps himself in that situation. I don't know if he gets off to it or whatever, but he likes having that around, or he would have distanced himself from it, I think. You know what I mean? Like, he could easily get rid of, I don't know what paperwork they have in place, but I would think he could easily get rid of KHAYLALA on that podcast and they wouldn't miss a beat, really. So, I don't know. Very strange goings on there with Tiger Belly, but I just thought we would check in because I thought that was newsworthy. The idea, I don't know that it's officially been confirmed, but the idea that KHAYLALA was doing that podcast and managed to hide her pregnancy in front of the guy. I mean, obviously, Bobby knew about it, but I'm saying, like, to the fans, like, hiding a pregnancy with a guy you dated for 10 years. Very weird situation.
She seems bizarre, and enough about her. I got some super chats here, Mike.
Let's read them.
Awesome. Electra, if you're there, you may have silenced her, Mike. I don't know if she's coming back.
Did I scare her away?
It happens. It happens.
Electra, I'm sorry, but it was crazy. As I'm about to talk about Bill Burr and Billy Corgan, you think they're related? Yeah. It was just a lot of Electra this morning, is all. I had to mention it.
Yeah, she doesn't get the notes beforehand, so she's just riffing, babe. She's just riffing.
I understand. I understand.
Nick West, $2. You're awesome, Electra. We love you. Dynamite drop-ins Electra. See, even the crowd agrees.
Yeah, people love it.
Yeah. Prairie Judge, $5 for Electra's Blind Mike Emotional Abuse Support Group fees. We're all Electrophiles now.
Well, good. Good.
Yeah, you're gonna love
DJ
this one.
Electrify on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Nick Mullen, Merch Mouse, lets us know for $1.99 is on Matan this week.
Whoa, and that'll be out probably before we're done here.
Yeah, after Catch 22, go watch Matan
Yes.
and Nick Mullen,
Absolutely.
because I will be watching that. And Saucepan for $1.99, $1.99 from Saucepan. Thank you, Saucepan.
Thank you, Saucepan.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for some 90s R&B swooning?
I almost forgot about that. It took me a second. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Yeah, this is really weird. I'm surprised more people weren't talking about this just because it's so weird. It reminded me of, we talked about this on the Kirk Minahan show years ago. Do you remember, Casey, Bill Cosby did an interview with like an AM radio station in Cleveland?
I don't remember.
Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And he gets on, and the guy goes, Bill, I gotta ask you, and it's probably what a lot of people are wondering. How have you managed to stay married all these years? Like, it's just the most G-rated questions.
Yeah.
And the whole time you're listening, you're like, how are they not addressing the obvious? Why? It seems so strange to talk to a rapist and not even like hint at it, really. This is even more bizarre because, well, you'll hear where this call is being made from. If you're not aware of what R. Kelly's been up to, I think it's pretty obvious where he's calling from at the beginning of this.
This call is from a federal prison. You will not be charged for this call.
Why
This
leave
call
that
is
in and then never address it? Like they left in, this call is being made from a federal prison. We'll never mention why.
Yeah.
Robert Kelly. This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To accept this call, press 5.
Don't
to block
worry,
this call,
law
you
enforcement.
may begin
There's literally
speaking
nothing
now.
to hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the king of R&B himself, a.k.a. Kells, a.k.a. the Pod Piper of R&B music. Give it up for R. Kelly.
He's in jail. Could we Google this real quick if you could, Casey? Because I want to be official about it. But I believe he's in jail for essentially holding women kidnapped in his home. Like sex trafficking. I don't know if sexual assault is officially one of the allegations, but this guy has some monstrous charges against him, doesn't he?
Yeah, racketeering, predicated on criminal contact, including sexual exploitation of children.
That doesn't seem so bad.
And transportation of women and girls in interstate commerce to engage in illegal sexual activity. 9 counts, 30 years.
I wonder, is there a racial element to this? And hear me out here. Where black pedophiles are seen as cooler. And that may sound crazy, but can you imagine anyone going, hey, y'all, we got Jerry Sandusky on the line? Like, I guess because maybe it's just an element of like, he's a musician, he's good looking, he has a swagger to him. So maybe it's more that, and that Jerry Sandusky's an old, disgusting man. But I can't imagine the equal to this, where ESPN is like, we've got Coach Sandusky on the line. Coach, how do you see Penn State is back in the top 10 this year? What do you make of it?
But in all fairness to R. Kelly, these ladies got blasted to ignition. They didn't get blasted to the defense of Penn State. You know what I'm saying?
That might be it too, where it's a difference of, do you have a male or female fan
Yes.
base? Which oddly, the female fan base is more forgiving of sex trafficking and sexual abuse.
That's both sides. Those Tate brothers are everywhere too. So it's a both sides thing.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't think anyone's doing this for the Tate brothers.
I was going to ask, is that you, Casey, playing the?
It is not. It is, I do not do that.
Yay! R. Kelly's here.
This is like some Beatles at Madison Square Garden shit.
Now, Robert, don't piss on us.
I was going to see who was going to make the first piss joke, and it was Mike, not me. I held back.
Hello.
Hello, I was called and told to sing.
Well, he sounds great.
Really
the
doing
good
great
news
for
is he sounds terrific.
Voice as sharp as ever.
Someone wanted me to sing "Happy Birthday." Sounds like Krusty the Clown.
Is he doing cameos from prison?
You guys wanted me to sing something.
Hey to somebody. What's up?
How are you?
Great, I'm great.
How do you think I am?
I don't believe I can fly anymore.
This is a stereotype of a guy performing like a children's birthday party.
Yes.
Where it's like you expect a fun, bubbly magic act, and he's like, all right, where do you want the girl in the box that I'm going to saw in half?
Where would you like me to do bump and grind at?
Sing to us? Okay.
We are ready.
I'm not going to do the whole trapped in the closet. You can get that out of your head right now.
I only do the first 3 chapters live.
Standing here looking in the mirror, saying damn to myself. I should have known the day would come. She would find somebody else.
He does still have it. He's still got the voice, like his speaking voice sounds terrible, but he's still got pipes, baby. And over the phone, that's not easy.
No, they're probably getting cleaned out every day, Mike. Hey,
All the things I took her through. Shit, I shouldn't have lasted this long. Now I'm at this telephone booth, literally calling Tyrone when a woman said,
Hey.
Matter how you big, no.
This was, by the way, they said sing us happy birthday. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, what if he did the opposite? Like he'll do the entire in the closet when you just say, give me 30 seconds, and he does an hour in the closet. I have nothing to do. I'm in jail.
Nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do.
They're singing backup for him.
Yay!
That's not me.
My
That's not me.
producer
The
is a
traditional happy birthday, as we all remember it.
huge fan.
Is there something... I'm sorry, ladies, to keep interrupting you. Is there not something terrifying about a man in prison for sex trafficking singing the lyrics and there's nothing you can do about it? And there's nothing you can do about... what are you in jail for again? If you wouldn't mind refreshing our memories.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to cut that clip, and every birthday, that's the song people are getting from that. They're going to be so confused.
That's where Craig is right now, singing this at a child's birthday party. And there's nothing you can do about it.
He has been driving us absolutely crazy since yesterday. So he just has one thing he has to say. You ready?
Oh, good.
Don't chicken out now.
Don't chicken out now just because you're on the phone with a rapist. Don't get cold feet.
My mind's telling me no. Can't go ahead and finish it off, man. I can't do it like you.
Hey, what's your name?
Man, my name is Quentin.
What did you do with all that money, man?
Okay. Do you know what that is, Casey? Have you figured out what he's doing right there?
R. Kelly's doing, or the guy singing?
What R. Kelly's doing?
He's ingratiating himself. He's
No.
saying, okay.
I think you're missing something.
I am.
Let's go back and listen again, if you could, just a few seconds. I believe what R. Kelly is doing here. They don't let him deliver it because they don't understand where he's going. He's trying to deliver a Stuttering John line. Let's hear it again. I think you'll pick up on it.
Hey, what's your name?
Man, my name is Quentin.
What did you do with all that money, man?
Okay, don't do that.
I'm saying, what did he do with all that money?
He wants him to say what money, so R. Kelly can say the money your mother gave you for singing lessons. Am I wrong? That's definitely what he's trying to set up for. And they don't let him because these gaggling cunts have no idea. They're just like all a Twitter that R. Kelly's on the phone. But he's trying to deliver a Stuttering John to Ringo Starr line.
He did the knock knock, and they did not do the who's there.
No,
So
they don't even know he's talking. They're just so they're so giggly and happy that Robert Kelly's on the line.
Mike, they're sitting in puddles right now. It must be hard to do a podcast sitting in a puddle.
Sopping wet.
Yes.
Don't do that.
I can't do it like you, brother. I can't do it like you. Man.
Nah, man, you ain't got to do it like
They
this.
fucked up my line.
I appreciate the love. I appreciate you for knowing
Like,
the
hey,
words.
can you sign my knife?
I know all of them. But I can't sing them in front of you.
R. Kelly's like, well, in that case, did you ever fart in the catcher's face?
Do you know this Kate Meany?
Are you able to continue singing in there and doing what you do best?
The dues payer has been ripping me off.
Kevin Brennan got his channel taken down.
What I did was nothing compared to ISO dough.
Rob Saw likes to fuck dogs.
He's like, what has comforted me while I'm in here, ladies, is the Dabbleverse.
R. Kelly to the Dabbleverse. Oh,
and he's like, I got to give it up to the Z-Man because the Mud Shark he's really been reporting a lot of things lately, and I think he's doing a fine job. People give him guff, but
and I love that spider anima, Joey C.
Fuck Lady K.
Beautiful disease. That's uncurable. That's not going to happen. Stop singing.
Right.
I don't care where I'm at. As long as I'm alive. So I'm always singing. I'm always writing. I've written like 25 albums.
Sounds alive.
He sounds like OJ at the end. Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly.
And right now I'm just working on getting back to what it is God gave me my talent to do.
Right.
That's what I'm waiting on right now. That's what I'm working on right now. Which is
Right,
really
and again, R. Kelly, I'm sorry, why is it that you're in there?
Pissing on preteens.
Was it loitering? Was it petty shoplifting? What did you do? Something none of us would care about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm using patience as a tactic right now.
Awesome. That is awesome. We hope that you continue that. I mean, we're all huge fans from childhood on up, and
definitely.
And
we literally don't care what you do. There's nothing quite literally nothing that could sully your reputation with this group.
Free pass. Lifetime free pass.
Kells, do whatever you want in there, my man. We'll look the other way.
This is beautiful, and we are just, I mean, I have always been a fan and wanted to meet you. This is unfortunate that we're meeting this way. However, we're really honored.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Y'all seen Clearwater Chad's impression of Stuttering John? Man, I don't quite get it. The guy might be a genius or he's insane. I'm not really sure.
Have you heard of this Ray DeVito? He's really neato.
We're happy to hear that you're doing good.
It's good. Well, it's not unfortunate. This is a great thing with me because we're on the way to victory. You'll be a part of that. So it's all good.
I mean, I've kept up on pretty much everything except for who are these broadcasters. I don't get that. Eric Zane doesn't do much for me. Christian Black seems like an all right guy, but I don't know. Tuesday afternoons, it's kind of my busy time.
Everyone in prison knows R. Kelly is a potato guy. I love the potato.
Man, Blind Mike might have been a little hard on Electra, but she was interrupting him, and he can't stand for none of that.
She did make the point he was just going to make, so I really understand what Blind Mike was saying. but I miss Kragers.
Even in my fantasy, R. Kelly's a fan of mine. He's on my side.
That's right.
But I thank you guys. Thank you.
I'm guilty of one thing, y'all, and that's being a Kregophile. Lock me up and throw away the key.
Everyone in jail has Kregophile shirts on. He just has his Colt in there.
That guy, I'll tell you, two people ain't never done nothing wrong. That's me and Craig Ironhead of Coney.
To believe, obviously, in me, support my music, support who I am as an artist, and
Man, HACKRIDE's doing this thing. He's going back and watching old, very good shows, and I really appreciate that because that's kind of before my time, you know. I never thought Matt Sanford got his due on that show.
Yes, and who is this nice podcast stupid? I just started watching them. Too many shows in this universe. I can't keep up.
Y'all know about Aaron Imholt? I haven't dipped my toe into that world yet. But I understand there's a goal of some kind.
I heard I'll be seeing him shortly. He's going to be joining me here.
I really do appreciate that. I was shocked when they told me to even call you guys. I was, because I cling to love.
This call is from a federal prison.
In case anyone forgets, man, there's nothing but love in my heart. This is a collect call from the worst place on earth.
Your rapist has run out of time.
If you're wondering if it was federal prison, it is in fact.
Yeah. It seems to be a lot cushier in federal prison for these guys. Although Sam Bankman-Fried was at like that local jail in New York, and he got to do an interview, and he says it's okay. It's not great, but it's not like terrible.
But let me ask you this: I didn't watch that. Maybe I should. Did that Sam Bankman-Fried interview were the hosts giggling and
no.
Sam, what do you think of Donald Trump's meme coin?
No, it was a very awkward interview. No one was laughing. It was just...
Sam, I'll tell you, this Dave Portnoy seems to be in some hot water. Will Greed 3 ever come out? Your thoughts, Sam?
Us too. We were so honored. We're honored to have this call with you.
They're honored.
I'm honored to take it. I'm honored to call.
I'm honored anyone was still associated with me.
I do have to also ask.
I can't believe y'all are ignoring my heinous crimes.
I wish the jury did.
Are you eating that horrible food in there? What are you eating for food? What are you doing for your food?
What do you think?
Well, this may sound
dumb
crazy,
bitch?
but I'm not
I mean,
gonna say
really.
that all of the food
I
is
hate to
horrible.
use some harsh language. What do you think? He's in prison. Yeah, he's eating the do you guys ever get to order takeout? Do they have? Now, I'm not up on the prison system. Do they have Grubhub?
No. Well, maybe. Actually, that's probably too early for me to say. It's probably like $3,000, but you can get anything in prison that you can get in real life. It's just going to be shoved in an ass and take 3 weeks, I think. But you'll get your burger.
You got commissary. You got, on good days you got good food. On some days you got bad food. It was like that at my
It's nice he's
grandma's
making the
house,
most
so
of it.
it's what it is. I take everything for the positive. You go to the apple tree. I'm sure you're not gonna pick the bad apples, so you pick the good apples and you eat them.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
That's the kind of person I've always been. Is the kind of person
I take
I've
everything for
always
the
known.
positive. When those women said no, my mind was telling me yes. So I give everything a positive spin.
Be no matter what predicament or what environment or what situation I'm in. So
right.
It's all good. That's all I can tell you guys, and it's gonna be even better.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Can you grace us with one more song
before we leave you?
How did they book him? How does he get to the point? So this is the name of this show. I should have said this earlier. It's called Inmate Tea with A and P. Tea as in spilling the tea.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they gossip about prisoners, which I don't know, maybe celebrity prisoners. I assume these letters are A and P respectively. How do they get to the point where they can book R. Kelly? Will he do anything? Will he do this show?
I can reach out to the correction.
Reach out and see. I mean, clearly he's a fan of the Dabbleverse, so we got to ask him about Stuttering John and things of that nature.
I'll have Craig reach out to his contacts. They all run in the same group, so.
Oh, Craig's probably talking to this. You know what, Craig? I'm sure you're mid-call with R. Kelly right now. Could you just throw in that we want him on the show?
Yeah.
Craig's like, we're gonna get you out of there, buddy. Don't worry. No, Craig wants R. Kelly in prison. He says more lunch for him.
He just starts singing again.
It is somebody's birthday tonight.
Well, now we get happy birthday.
I know one thing for sure. I'm gonna put on my dancing shoes and go out and step the whole night through. I'm gonna.
It's also great. You can tell he's not doing it at full volume, so he doesn't get, fucked in the shower later.
He's being quiet.
Someone
yes.
calling him a homo.
Derek from BYB, enjoy your prison.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great if he was on. He's the one guy on Stuttering John's side with everything. He's like, I don't get why all these people are giving John such a hard time. He was just, he was just trying to do a political show. And then Lady K comes in and he messes everything up. And then now Lady K was talking about his children, for God's sake. He was going after this man's children. What was John supposed to do?
Oh, it's actually a great thought experiment because you know that John would look past all the peeing and all the girls and all.
Kells, I've always loved your music. I don't think you did anything wrong.
Keys to Ignition. That's a good song.
There's a lot of reports that say the ladies were there by choice, and that people ignore that.
I'm a flirt too, R. Kelly. I get you.
He is. That is true. He's a flirt.
I'm gonna step you.
Better
in the
sing.
name of love, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We
All right,
truly
love you
appreciate
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We truly appreciate it.
All right, gang. This has been Inmate T with A&P. Our guest next week, Josh Duggar. We've got him and we've got him and Jared Fogle giving their thoughts on: is Elon Musk really running the country? That's what we have these two on next week for.
And we'll be doing some campfire songs. Jared's got a silky smooth voice.
Thank you so much.
Pretty well appreciated around the world.
Y'all, we are still in
They are celebrating.
We did. Hey, job well done.
Yes.
shock. We just spoke with R&B legend R. Kelly. He came on our podcast to show us love. Some of you may hate him. Others still love him.
Yeah, a bit of a controversial figure, would you say, ladies?
Some of you may be victims.
I like the idea of Bob Costas being like, and people heard a rhythmic slap, slap, slapping sound. And that was the bass bumping to your massive hits, Kells. That was, you really, I mean, I was bumping and grinding out there, Robert.
Him. We are huge fans of his music. We are just two individuals that are able to separate the art from the artist. And
No. You had the artist on your show.
They got that backwards.
You dumb fucks.
They didn't just listen to an album. They had him.
Playing his music would be separating the art from the artist. You had the artist on and said, Robert, I mean, how do you handle that food in there?
Oh, how many girlfriends you got in there, Robert?
Listen, we separate the art from the artist. The artist we love. The art we actually don't care for his music, to be honest. We just love the man.
We like his decision-making process mostly.
Appreciate him coming on and giving us the appreciation and just supporting our movement with our podcast, giving a voice to the voiceless. So we are truly grateful.
A voice to the voiceless.
Yeah, he's the voiceless, not the victims. R. Kelly, the famous R&B singer, is the voiceless.
The gagged cage women, not voiceless. R. Kelly, 20. Oh, by the way, he said in that same interview he's written 25 albums ready to be recorded. So,
which I believe, based on his songwriting, I believe, because he's the Robin Williams of songwriting. It's just stream of consciousness.
It's one song with 25 parts.
Yeah.
Or 400 parts, however his catalog is.
All right, gang. This has been Inmate T with A&P. Join us next week for Fashion Do's and Don'ts with Ghislaine Maxwell.
What the fuck? All right, hold on. We got some super chats. Mike, I got to get the right thing here. All right. Electra, I don't think is back.
Is she boycotting the show? Electra, I'm sorry.
No, she had to get some stuff ready for her. The Great Catch 22, which is after this show.
Oh, well,
right
I
after
watch
the show.
that. So watch Electra trash me. I'm sure she's gonna
Never
lambaste
gonna
me.
happen. Never gonna happen. Joe from Virginia, she loves you. Joe from Virginia, $1.99. Have a great show. Praise to the Day Lords and Mike. Thank you, Joe from Virginia. Dang Lizard with €5 or £5. Now I'm not sure if that's euro or not. I think it might be a euro. It's already the Diddleverse, and now you want to invite R. Kelly? Also,
he could produce Shuli's show. They're down one pedophile producer.
he wants one of us to sing this so I can read it, so I guess I'll sing it. He's Greedo, he's not a pedo, his name is Ray DeVito. The song's always right. It is.
You got to remember with R. Kelly, his songs never rhyme, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's just nonsense.
Yeah, that's how he can do a 3-hour song where he's just yelling in the closet. Nothing has to rhyme.
Do you have your passports? Elliot, if you want to have a fun interview, ask him about the song where he asked women if they have their passports and they're up to date on their shots.
That's an important one. Breakdown. Droopy Nuts, $1.99. Uh-oh. Those knee space. Wait for it.
Yeah, I
grows. Sure, are musical, aren't they? I spaced. I waited. And then there's he did it twice. Times 2. Yes. Thank you, Droopy Nuts. But we will not say that. All right. I didn't get fooled this week. I usually get fooled, but not this week.
Nice.
All right, Blind Mike. It is time that we get into the bigs, the big losers here. And R. Kelly couldn't be happier to see these subjects. Oh my God.
Oh, that's true. R. Kelly's very excited. Man, Opie and Anthony going at it still to this day. I don't like to hear that. It hurts my soul.
I get the day room on Sundays. It is the Blind Mike Project. We are breaking down Steel Toe and Opie.
All right, let's talk about Opie first. I've had enough is the wrong word. I couldn't come up with another title for the video of Opie is jealous of Anthony again. I couldn't word it differently to make it stand out. He is still. He's very jealous of Anthony. But I just figured, let's take a week off that. Plenty of people are talking about it. And I said, let's visit what's happening to Gepard's. Let's go down to the basement of Gepard's and see what's doing. Because Opie will tell us that Anthony's embarrassing himself back on terrestrial radio. I guess Anthony's only doing 1 day a week. He's doing Sunday nights on terrestrial radio. I don't know how much of a difference that's gonna make to Anthony's bottom line, but I think he's doing it as like, hey, I'll do this for a few weeks of no bother to me to do a 2-hour show every week. Maybe eventually it turns into an everyday show, or maybe it turns into something else. Who knows? But Opie looks down at that, and Opie says, man, I know how to do radio. And so let's hear Opie doing radio, because it's of Opie's belief that Opie could literally walk into a bar and find people to do a radio show with. So I wanted to check in and see what the latest live from Gepard's was all about.
It's a hot show, Mike.
Yeah, it definitely is. It absolutely is, and I thought I could recommend it to you guys.
And that's how we start. We are live at Gepard's.
That's not edited. I didn't cut out the hilarious joke that they're all laughing at. That is how it begins. And you could say, like, hey, I did say there was a romance to Come Town starting like that. It kind of has to be executed well, I think. But Opie just starts, oh, man, we're having a great time. Oh, the mics are on? Whoopsie daisies. You just heard us guys. Now, if you think there's nothing funny for the next hour and a half, you should have heard before the show. That's when we were really zinging and zanging.
It's in New York City. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our little live stream. We got my buddy Matt, who owns the joint. He owns 2 beer joints. What? Yes. Yes, you do, man. and cheers. Let's do cheers
right away. Why not? What else are we doing?
We got lots to do today. We're going to talk to Ron the waiter, also known as Ringworm Ronnie.
Great.
And we got yes, and we got Ponji coming by.
Ponji's coming.
I empathize with Opie having people just babbling in the background, but
oh no,
I'm kidding, Electra. But it is like Opie believes, because Opie will talk a lot about this, how he assembled the Opie and Anthony show. And here's where everyone gets fucked up, I think. Opie did see something in Anthony where he said, hey, I'd like this guy to be my partner. And people might say, hey, that's very obvious, but not necessarily to everyone. You know what I mean? Like Anthony was trying on to get on a bunch of different shows, and Opie's the one who gave him a real shot. Same with Jim Norton. He said, hey, this is a guy that is worth bringing in every day. So Opie did have what seemed like those skills. Where Opie has lost his mind is he forgets that he got very lucky that those two presented themselves to him. Like, even if you have a good eye for talent, you kind of have to be lucky to be in front of that to see it, you know? Like, the idea that Anthony was just working a fucking HVAC job and presented himself to Opie, that's very lucky. Where Opie is miscombobulated that is he thinks I could walk into any establishment on the planet and I'll have, who gives a fuck? I'll have Ron the waiter. I'll have Matt, the owner of Gepard's on, and we'll just riff, baby. We'll just go. We'll turn the mics on and go. And with Anthony Cumia and Jim Norton, you could do that. What Opie forgets is, great, do a show with Ron the waiter and Matt. I'm sure it'll be terrific. But you should prepare something because you can't expect Matt, who might be the least funny person on the planet. Like, Matt is difficult to listen to. You can't just expect Matt, hey, talk about whatever. I'm going to throw it to you and you riff. There was a time where he had two guys that he could do that to, and now he just doesn't. And it's unfortunate for Opie, but he's misguided in his ability to just be like, hey, I turned the mics on. You guys take the ball now. It's all yours.
Imagine if you're just eating there as a customer and don't know what's going on, and then you hear someone yell to your waiter, "Hi, ringworm Ron." I'm like, can I get a new waiter, please?
I actually think that's why they're in the basement now, because these guys would just yell, and I think Matt was like, "Hey, can we not do this where I'm supposed to have fucking customers?"
Yeah, let's go to the basement where I can murder your show there.
Yes, yeah.
All right, Who Demand is the next one.
Oh, this is a classic segment of Opie's. I probably don't need to explain to you guys that it swept the nation. But Opie explains his bit of Who Da Man, where often on his show, he will just randomly go, Who Da Man, 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 Who Da Man. And then he'll be like, Donald Trump is demand. Yeah, R.KELLY'S demand today. Like, he'll just say a name. And it provides a lot of entertainment. The chat really is a buzz when you get Who Da Man of the week or whatever the fuck it is.
What's going on, man? We got to say hi to some of the regulars. Bob's checking in. John.
Hey, John.
Richie Rich. Evening. Who Da Man? Oh. So Richie Rich on my morning live stream, he does the Who Da Man bit.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you. Who is the man? It could be anybody. It could be somebody in the news.
The current man?
It's literally like the most popular person today.
Okay, I don't know that because I'm so far away from the popular Jenner. It's a good addition.
It could be Trump.
I
for
guess
the State of the Union. It could be. It could be the cancer.
Then why not just
kid.
make it that, Opie? If you want to say Trump, just say it. Why would you throw to these people who have no idea what the fuck you're doing and be like, hey, what's the bit you've prepared? And they're like, I don't know what this is. And he's like, oh, that's right. It was my idea. Damn it.
That's why is so he can look somewhat decent. So he just makes everyone around him look like shit. So he looks somewhat decent.
Oh, you don't know Who Da Man? You don't know that segment that I've created that really means nothing? And by the way, his explanation of it shows it's just a worthless thing that he would have made fun of, by the way. Like, Opie, and people do forget this, like, Sam Roberts was the one that did all the work, but like, if you go back and listen to the first Jocktober, it was Opie's idea to be like, hey, we should see if we could do this every day. And if we could just listen to a random radio show, not like pick and choose bad segments, just listen to the show and see what they were doing like yesterday. That was Opie's idea. And now, at age 60, whatever the fuck he is, he's like, hey, who'd you say is demand this week? And it's like they would have crucified some hack morning radio show for doing something so lazy that really has no meaning. As he's like, just say Trump. It's like, well, then why even do it if it's that fucking lazy?
Say anyone with balls. Go.
So they say the State of the Union, so I can't say that one.
All right, it could be obscure.
Obscure?
It could be your landlord.
Say a man's name. Oh, wouldn't that be fun if Ron the waiter shit on his landlord? Wouldn't that be a lot of fun for all of us?
That's what
Well,
I'm
I'll tell
waiting
you
for.
who my man is this week. It's Bill. Well, who's Bill, Ron? You wouldn't know him, but that's my choice.
I pay rent to him on the 5th of the month.
Lord is not the man. No. Or a man, perhaps. I'm not sure. You don't have no one for who the man? No, I don't. Thanks for dropping that one. Oh, that stinks. Anybody have who the man? Who the man? There's the man. Man's here right now. There's Ponji. Ponji, don't mind the racist chair that Matt got yet. Ponji's here. All right, we'll figure out who the man.
Oh, well, it's very important to figure out who to man. I'm glad they're going to revisit that. But now we'll explain Ponji to you. It is a sad state of affairs when legendary broadcaster Greg Opie Hughes has, at the time that I got the clips of this show, it was 4.9 thousand views on a video. And both me and Casey individually, he didn't tell me that he did this. I didn't tell him that I did this. We both looked at 4.9 thousand views on this video and said, that can't be right. Something's amiss here. And we both looked at the comments and saw a bunch of flags of Indonesia. And apparently, way more people than usual. If you go to Opie's other live streams, it's like, I don't know, 300-400 views, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's this one with 5,000. Because apparently, Opie introduces Ponji as the Jon Stewart of Indonesia. So they have this big guest on in another country. Opie can expand globally here. And they barely talk to him. They're like, Indonesia? That's not this country. And he's like, no, that's true. It is different over there. And then they're like, all right, back to Ringworm Ron. They barely acknowledge this guy. It's not an interview with him. He's just one of 9 voices that you hear. It's very sloppily done. And all these poor Indonesians are in the comments like, I'm here for Ponji. Ponji is our guy. And what's crazy to me about that, as a guy that grew up listening to Opie, is Opie will get less views than this episode will get. And I'm like, is he buying views? What's happening? That's what's really crazy to me about the position Opie is in, is that Ponji elevates the quality of his episode to such a massive extent. And Opie is very grateful, as you'll hear with some of his questions.
Yes, we've booked Ponji for a 3-week stint on Catch 22. I mean, those numbers are
You should do that, yeah. Just talk about Indonesian comedy.
Yes. What do you eat over there? Where is it? Point it out on a map. Thank you.
You're joking? That's literally what Opie does with it, where it's like, Indonesia, man, that's got to be a totally different country. And Ponji's like, yep, it is. Sure is.
Also, we got something new today for the live at Get Bots. If you give a $10 super chat, we will be firing this up tonight.
Oh, this is called new promotion, by the way.
Uh-oh. Do I hear the wacky meter?
Yes.
That's the $10 super chat air horn, everybody. We're wacky. We're wacky.
That's got to be fun in New York City.
I'm eating there. I am running out.
Yeah.
What was that sound? What's going on?
That's good for business.
Yeah.
Opie, and he does this thing where he masks it like, oh, we're just kidding. But listen to him. He thinks this is going to be the new bit. This will really drum up business. Aaron, we'll talk about it with Aaron, too. They do this thing, and they do it half-assed. Because they're like, oh, I actually think this is lame. I'm like you guys. I think this isn't cool. But also, I really want it to make me money. It's like, well, you can't be both then. You have to know it's lame and do it as a joke and not expect it to make any money. But if it doesn't make you money, you can't then go, oh, what the fuck is happening? Why aren't tens coming in by the droves?
All right, I thought we'd get $10 for you just doing that.
$10 right away.
We got Paul. He gave you $1.99. That's all right. That's all right.
That's all right. That's all right.
Opie begging for crumbs with this new heroin bit.
It's weird to see millionaires go nuts over a $1.99 super chat.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre thing that goes on. That color really dopamines you up or something.
And he's beeping a clown horn. He's going, waka waka. Won't you give me money now? Instead of just thinking of an idea, Like think of make your. I heard Carl say this. The one thing we found Opie is passionate about is shitting on Anthony. He loves it. He loves to hate Anthony and blame Anthony for all the failures of his career. And I think Carl's point was like, do that. Do a show where you just shit talk Anthony and you shit talk Joe Rogan and Jim Norton and Bob Kelly and Vaughn, all the people you think have abandoned you. Do that, because some of us will make fun of it and we'll watch it. And there'll be other people that'll be like, yeah, man, fuck Jim Norton. And they'll watch it and they'll make Opie their hero. So like, do that. Don't do this thing where it's like, uh-oh, do I hear the donation sound? Like, yeah, he clearly hates doing it, but he's so lazy that he thinks like that's my only chance of making money is literally sounding the donation alarm.
He should call that show Kumia's Cucks, just so Chad goes apoplectic so we can make R. Kelly happy.
Oh, and if Opie is really trying to take from Aaron Imholt, he should call them O-Nations. Just do everything Aaron's doing, Opie, to hit the goal.
This next one's called Chemistry.
Well, like I said, it was amazing that chemistry came together with Anthony, Jim Norton, and Opie. And as they always say, lightning generally strikes twice. Like what's really likely is that you can assemble a group of guys that just make magic that lives on more than 10 years after the show's been off the air. People still talk about the Opie and Anthony show. And the odds are that happens 2, 3, maybe 4 times in a lifetime, that you're able to duplicate that chemistry. And I think this clip really shows that Opie has kind of the same magic with the boys at Gepard's. It's really funny when Opie pronounces it that way. It is Gepard's is the name of the place, but Opie every single time says Gepard's, and that's how you know they're having fun.
Right. I'm leave the house without sweatpants. And then I got really lightheaded, so I called an ambulance.
You pulled your sweatpants off and you walked out of the house?
Wait, no. I put jeans on.
Wait. Up.
This is what Opie used to do on the Opie and Anthony show. People are talking and he would go, wait, I got something to say. And it's a Chip Chipperson thing. I don't know if Jim started out making fun of Opie with Chip. I don't believe that he did, but it definitely became that, where a lot of Chip's broadcasting tendencies were representative of Opie, where two guys would just be in the middle of the sentence, and instead of just, waiting for a natural entry, or even just talking over them, like saying, hey, it's my show, I'm going to start talking now. For whatever reason, Opie takes the tact of, wait. I got one. Everyone buckle up. Now that I've built it up this way, it's going to pay off. It's going to be good.
Wait a minute. What? Lift up the air horn.
It's $5.
Oh, $5.
Guess what? You can look at it.
You can look at the air horn. The air horn only goes off. It only goes off for $10.
It's airy, but not horny yet.
Yeah. Jordan Jackson's House of Horrors, on a scale from 1 to 10, how embarrassing?
That's, by the way, Casey, that's what you do to me when I hear the rim shot. It's the sound effect equivalent of it's airy but not horny yet. Just keep that in mind. It just deflates me. So keep that in mind.
I've done so much better.
You have. I
wife
appreciate
and kids of you and your awful show. All right, thanks, Jordan.
Hold on, can you go back a little? I want to hear. I think that super chat made some good points. I want to hear that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Jordan Jackson's House of Horrors, on a scale from 1 to 10, how embarrassed are your wife and kids of you and your awful show? All right, thanks, Jordan. You spent $5 for that? Jesus. How late? My wife and kids are very embarrassed by me. Of course
Stop
they
talking
are.
about it. Stop talking about it.
Yeah, at least his co-host gets it, where he's like, "Stop talking about it. What are you doing?" Where Opie's like, "I'm going to stop the entire show for it." Maybe if you did that, if there was some chat right now, just like shitting on the segment, and you read it, I'd be like, "Well, I hope at least Casey has like a good comeback or something to completely derail the show with just a non sequitur shitting on me." Like maybe there's a reason for it, but Opie's reason is, I'm rubber and you're glue. Like he literally had nothing for it, and he stopped the show to celebrate $5. You were so right a minute ago when you said like, this is a millionaire who's like, wait, everyone, hold on. Is that $10? Oh, no, it's $5, but still pretty good.
Yeah. Those colors of those super chats do something to some creators, man. Opie is embarrassed is the next one.
Every once in a while, you can tell that there's a guy that had something at some point. I know people say like Opie never added anything to the Opie and Anthony show, and I don't think that's true. I think its contribution was minor compared to Anthony and Jim, but it was a contribution. And you can see that there's a man in there who's still conscious of the horrible decisions he has made. Like for all the bluster that Opie puts forward, you can tell there's someone in there that regrets everything and feels great shame for what he's doing. And I think that's what's on display here.
This shit doesn't bother me. And two, right now, I'm high as a kite.
There's 10. Oh, wait a minute. Good story, Littlefoot, but we got 10. So for every $10 we make tonight, we're gonna fire up the air horn.
Jesus Christ.
That waffle is nice, man.
Opie auctioning
give me
off
100,
autographed twisters next week, which is very exciting.
Yes.
Throw that damn thing in the garbage. It's not as impressive as I thought it would be.
You know what?
It's really not that impressive.
Are you that far away from
Can we do this off the air? Because I'm gonna hurt you.
It's not that really.
Were you the
I
kid
was
that-
expecting a little more from the air horn bit.
Were
It's
you
not
the
that
Air
impressive.
horn. It's never been an air horn. It's
What is it?
Air raid siren.
You didn't go chase fire engines as a child?
You got it from eBay.
You know what? Fine. Move on. Next subject.
All right.
It's so classic Opie to pull the ripcord on that when it's like his thing. Even if it was Matt or someone else's idea to do it, Opie's the host and can say, I'm not interested. No thanks. But Opie did it and then felt embarrassed afterwards. And it reminded me a lot of when they would do Jocktober and Opie would pull the ripcord on it. And like Anthony and Jim would play along with this a little bit and be like, oh yeah, it's so annoying. But what always frustrated me is they would do Jocktober and Opie would go like, oh, I'm so mad. I hate that these shows, I can't even have fun with it. I'm so mad. And I'd be like, well, you're just stepping all over the bit now. Like everyone was having fun making fun of this. Now you're just shitting on it. And that's kind of what this is, where Opie like gets embarrassed and he has nothing to add. So instead, like his way of being funny is being like, oh man, this sucks. Doesn't it suck, everyone? And now there's no room. Like he used to be able to be like, doesn't E-Rock suck for bringing this to the table? Doesn't Sam suck? Shouldn't Sam not have brought this up? Like he could shit on the staff. But now he kind of has to be like, don't I suck? And he just refuses to acknowledge that that's what he's doing.
Skilled interviewer, though. That's what he is.
Oh, that is one thing that's true. I remember the story of Ray Liotta. They said that Ray Liotta was in for an interview on the Opie and Anthony show, and Ant and Norton were firing away with questions. Because Ray Liotta is a decorated Hollywood actor. He's also in a movie they reference all the time, what's widely considered maybe top 3 or 4 movies of all time in Goodfellas. So you'd think there'd be plenty to ask Ray Liotta. Opie just sat there sheepishly to the point where Ray Liotta goes, what's wrong with this guy? Is he sick? He thought there was something wrong with Opie. And so
yes, he is.
Oh, so Opie's never had anything. He's just an empty guy who's never had anything to ask anyone. And this is him attempting. He has this big guest, Panji, who is the Jon Stewart of Indonesia, as Opie describes him. And so this is what he has to ask the panster.
Basement. And Panji's very, very, like, you got to explain again. You're really famous in Indonesia.
But it doesn't matter, right?
But you're like,
You're gonna say explain how funny you are.
Kind of.
Comedy, won't you?
But it's so wild because when he goes back to Indonesia, he can't move without everyone recognizing him and wanting pictures and all that. And then he comes to America and no one gives a shit. Which is amazing. No, not yet though.
I'm on my way.
I know you're on.
One room.
It's here's what happened though. Here's what's kind of sad about Opie's existence is like he stumbled into kind of a funny line. Like that's kind of funny if like he delivered it better. Where you're like, anything comes here and no one gives a shit. You know, like that could be funny. But Opie is genuinely being insulting, and that comes through. He's like, man, you're so famous over there. And then like here where you're trying to make something of yourself, just no one gives a fuck. Expand on that. Like it's not even a question. He wants Pan G to go, yeah, I have a lot interesting to say about how irrelevant I am. Thanks for the setup, Opie. I'll take the ball and run with it.
Is the worst improver ever, Opie.
And then he gets embarrassed. I've never seen such embarrassment for what he's doing. Like he presents this stuff, and then you can tell how embarrassed he gets, which I think is what we're seeing.
No, I know you're on your way. You just spit on me. What was that?
Nice greeting.
Is that a bad greeting?
I
I find that
setting the stage for the next couple of questions.
I find that fascinating because, like, he could have just stayed in Indonesia and been incredibly famous, but he's like, no, I want to like
see the world, baby.
I want to be famous in America. Is basically what you're thinking, right?
Boy, did you pick the right time.
No, I didn't mean it.
That's right. Let it get down, people.
I really didn't mean anything by that, but I find it fascinating that
it's quite fast.
Yeah.
What's the question? I find it fascinating. Well, what's he going to say? Yep, you do find it fascinating. Like, what's he going to say about that? Yeah, it is fascinating that I haven't been able to find success here. Like, what the fuck? You just set him up for nothing. You're like, hey, that's kind of crazy that you're of no relevance to anyone here, right? Isn't that interesting? That the name Pan G is utterly worthless to me? Huh? What do you think of that?
Well, you know, thank you.
It was like back
Whatever.
in the old days with Opie and Anthony. We were in certain markets. We would go to these markets. We couldn't move. And then, you know, all of a sudden you're on vacation in some other city that the show wasn't on in and no one gave a shit. That's all.
That's never been true, by the way. It's not a great
but
example.
You know what?
But it's never been true. I was a fan of Opie and Anthony for many years. It's never been true that they could walk down the street and couldn't move, that they would get swarmed. They were a very big radio show for a time. They were number one in New York. But they lived in a time, where you didn't always know what radio personalities looked like. You know what I mean? Like, it was on the cusp of everyone having total internet access all the time. Like, it was theater of the mind. No one necessarily knew what Opie and Anthony looked like. You did if you were a real hardcore fan. But Opie and Anthony, even at their height, they could walk through Manhattan unscathed, you know? And that's not even shitting on them. Alec Baldwin walks around Manhattan. Like, there are very famous people that can walk around New York and not be swarmed with people. So already Opie's lying, but he's also saying, like, no, isn't it crazy that your fans know who you are and people who don't know you don't know who you are? Isn't that wild? It's like, not really. What is he supposed to do with that? It's what you'd expect.
He starts the improv and then leaves the improv. You remember when Michael Scott in The Office goes to improv class and he shoots out, he has the gun out and he's like, everyone has to play guns with him? It would be as if he then said, why are you guys doing this gun thing? That's stupid. We're not doing that. And he's like, you brought it here. You brought the guns here.
He said, I can't show you, but I have a gun.
Yes.
A great line. But like, I was at the live show in Laconia last week with the Minifans. All very fun, very nice to be out there. And we went to a bar afterwards next door, and a bunch of people surrounded me and asked me questions about the show. That's a very unique experience for me. However, when I go to another bar, like I went out to lunch yesterday, I wasn't like, what's weird? No one swore to ask me about Kirk. That's strange. No, you were in an environment where everyone knew who you were. It's not, that's what happens. Opie's like, just pontificate on that. It's like, well, you already said it. What more am I going to say about it?
You back. Thank you guys for having me. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Looks like Ponji's out of there. Next one is a woman enters.
So this is, I mean, just a lady walks into the room. I think she's a waitress at Gepard's. And just this room couldn't handle that. It shuts down. It's chaos.
Gonorrhea Sally. We got Ringworm Ron and Gonorrhea Sally.
It's a great staff here at Gepard's.
Enjoy your food.
That is true.
What do you have to do to get a goddamn beer around here?
Mew.
Oh.
Mew's here. Actually, Mew, you want to come over?
Oh, Mew, you want to say hi?
Come on,
Oh,
say
Mew.
hi. It's cousin.
Oh,
fucking racist, bro.
He's called Opie.
There's a bay involved.
How close
So
is
many,
Thailand
so many
to,
podcasts. Casey, you've made note of this before. I listen to a lot of podcasts during the week.
So many.
Much more than the average person. And so often do I hear, like, I was just listening to Theo Vaughn, and the waitress walked into the room, and I was like, oh, I wish you would stop talking to, Elon Musk and start talking to the waitress. I want to know what she's about. And what I'm kidding, but I actually used a bad example because Theo Vaughn would have a waitress on and just talk to her and make it interesting. Opie doesn't have that ability. Opie thinks because the Opie and Anthony show was kind of chaotic, hey, let me just call the waitress over and magic will ensue. But this is just a lady who's on her shift and just wants to get out of there. And she wants to bring this asshole who said, what does it take for me to get a beer around here? She wants to bring this guy a drink so she doesn't get in trouble. And Opie's like, hey, Mew, or whatever the fuck your name is, come make magic with me. What do you say? Let's riff.
It's like
Indonesia.
a 6.5 hour flight.
Nah, it's probably only a couple
I mean, if
hours
you
flight.
fly
You
around
can-
in circles,
you can
couple
fly-
hour flight.
Yeah, it's just a couple hour flight from Jakarta.
Okay. All right.
I'm from Jakarta, Indonesia.
Jakarta. God damn it, Jakarta.
Yeah.
She's looking for a man.
She's looking for a man. He's rich and famous.
What? Just come on in.
It's very
Robert
important
ain't
that
getting
Mew
up.
gets on mic.
No.
Everyone's on mic right now, apparently.
Oh, Robert, don't
We
get
just
up.
found Robert. We just found him.
You can't lose him again.
Hi.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh my God.
That's Mew.
Hi,
Looking
Mew.
for a man.
This basement
She's
has a
looking
lot.
for a
This
man.
basement has a lot of flavor.
Hi.
Whoa, dude.
A lot of flavor. I mean that in a
The
good
kegs
way.
do.
I'm the sweet one then.
Oh, sweet flower.
Nothing.
that
No,
bitch,
whoa!
okay?
Nothing was said. Why did it get that reaction? A
don't
woman
know.
just said words, and they're like, "Whoa!" Oh my God! Someone said something. Thank God.
You missed nothing visually. Nothing happened in the room. There
Didn't
was no
take your
fireworks
top
set
off?
off. No, you missed nothing.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a good job.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I was expecting more. I got to be honest. I was
Where's all the
expecting.
money?
I was expecting a little more from that.
So Mew's gonna
A little
stand
more.
up and
It's
do
your
a dance.
bit.
So what do you got, Mew? How was your week?
I got a beer.
Where's
Where's our beer? We ain't
That's
got no
perfect,
beer.
by the way. She's doing her job perfectly.
Yes.
What do you got, Mew? What do you got? Another Chip Chipperson line. What do you got? And she's like, I'm doing my job, if that's what you're asking. I'm doing the only thing I'm supposed to be. I don't have stories for you to talk about, but I'm a private person who you made come over here. What do you want from me? It's so rude to be like, hey, what do you got? Not only did I call you over here into this uncomfortable circumstance, you do the heavy lifting. What do you got? Because I got nothing.
Imagine if like you're at work waitressing and then all of a sudden you're on Kill Tony. You're doing a minute. You're like, what? I'm just
Right.
giving
Yeah,
a-
no, I didn't put my name in the bucket.
No.
You?
Like, come on, bitch. You don't got a minute? What's wrong with you?
Boo. Just a boo all of a sudden. So I'm just here doing my job.
How was your week?
I got a beer.
Where's
Where's our beer? We ain't got no
Oh
beers.
my gosh. What would you like?
Because you're not paying customers.
Red stripe? I got a
I'll
red
do a
stripe.
red stripe. Red stripe man.
You know what? It's funny that Jamaica was mentioned earlier.
That is funny. That is real.
It's
Like,
hilarious.
just they react to anything. They're like, hey, you want a red stripe? And they're all like, whoa, a beer name. Yes, something for us to react to. Other than Opie asking, who's the man and what we got.
All right, the final clip here is a great sidekick, which he's not great.
Oh, I disagree. I think these are good guys to riff with. I think this might be Littlefoot that he turns to. And he's like, Littlefoot, what do you got? Let's go. And this is where it's kind of sad. This would make for a great movie scene with the right director. Like in the story of Opie and Anthony, this would be a very dramatic ending. When you watch the relationship with Opie and Anthony, and Opie find Anthony in obscurity, and they build a career together. And Opie could toss anything to Anthony. Hey, here's this news story, Ant. Run with it. Hey, let me mention Andrew Dice Clay. Anthony, you wouldn't happen to bring that to life and do a great impression, would you? Oh, as a matter of fact, you can. And this would be the very sad ending where Opie's like, all right, Littlefoot, take it away, brother. What do you got? Give it to us. Come on. Drive it home. Have some profound thought about the news or a comedic bit. Take it away, brother.
Robert, go ahead.
Robert,
Right
do
there.
you have,
Ron,
do
give
you have
your
a question
seat.
for Panji?
I do not.
Do you have any Indonesia fun facts? Experience?
I've never been to Indonesia.
That's a fact.
I don't. Therefore,
It's
I
still
don't
a
have.
fact. You feel for the Opester in this moment, but it is entirely his fault. Because Opie is out of things to ask this Panji guy.
Yeah.
He has nothing else to say to him. He had him on because he knew it might get 3,000 extra views on YouTube. So, like, Opie has nothing to say to him. And he's like, fuck, I'm out. Hey, you, Littlefoot, what do you got on Indonesia? And it's funny to laugh at this guy for being like, nothing. He contributes exactly what he's supposed to. He's sitting in a bar, and a man said to him, what do you got on Indonesia? And this guy answered how almost anyone would answer. I have no thoughts on that matter. I have nothing to say about it.
I just got a text from R. Kelly says, Littlefoot reminds me of DG.
Man, this guy, he's really got nothing to say, this guy. Of all the Stuttering John co-hosts, DG left me the most perplexed. Why would John have him out? Just to kiss his ass? That ain't the John I know.
This guy better pay his bar bill while he's there.
You know who I did like was, who's the crippled guy? The crippled racist guy. I liked him.
Quad Father?
Man, I like the Quad Father.
Yeah, the Grateful Dead never played Indonesia. I don't have a fun fact. I don't know anything about it.
Because I've never been to Indonesia. You've never been to Columbus, Ohio. Like,
I have.
Then why ask him? Well, you're not well versed on anything. So I thought you might have a question for this obscure foreign comedian.
How would I know a fun fact if I haven't been there?
Great point.
Couple fun facts.
Well, there's no Wi-Fi down here.
Yeah, there is no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi down here.
And they're like, oh, we're not equipped to broadcast. Hey, Google that. We literally can't.
Ain't no fact checking here. Literally.
That would be great. My mind is just on it now. Not exclusive to Opie, but it would be great. Like, Carl has these round table discussions. But people point out that they're not really, it's not like dabble point, because there is no counterpoint on that show. It'd be great if R. Kelly was the one to be like, man, I want to come on and give the other side of the John story.
Now listen, I've been studying John for years while I've been in the clinic. Let me tell you about John.
Y'all don't understand what Opie provided to the Opie and Anthony show. Man, the man steered the ship. You don't realize how important that is. Look at Anthony and Jim now on their own. They got no direction, brother.
Yeah, for a while there, I had a phone in here, and so I had an Asian character, and I was giving money to John. He didn't know it was me.
I was trolling this motherfucker. Now, he made videos that said he knew it was me all along, but you could tell he was getting turned on by me.
Me and the potato worked together to troll John mercilessly, but we don't like the art.
That would be great if R. Kelly learned his lesson. He learned luring young girls was not the answer. Let me see if I can attract 60-year-old men.
I was a predator until I got involved with the DABBLEVERSE, and it really straightened me out.
I'll tell you, Opie was at his best when he had the potato on that show, man. That potato, there's something nice about it. He really brought something out of Opie.
Hey, listen, I just want to write a whole album about Jake Hudson. That's all I want to do.
That's an interesting guy.
I can't get enough of Hudson. I just call him Hud.
This Joey C, what's his deal, man? All right, we got to stop.
And we will do that. I will do this for hours. All right, a few super chats, and then we'll get to goal, baby.
Okay.
Eatermon for $5 says, this is a super chat from a federal prison. Man, I love being a completely innocent man watching this.
Well, thank you, buddy. I have nothing to ask, nothing interesting to ask you. I won't ask what you're in there for or anything.
The one pun for $5. Opie is the kind of guy that will burn bridges with himself still on them.
That's a poetic way to put it.
That's the John move. Just no forethought. Just gonna act in the moment.
Yeah.
And finally here, Port Film Co-op, $2. All right, Argentinian. Where's that from? You're getting some special money, Mike. The show is missing Craig. It is. That's why I got the shirt on. We miss Craigers.
We all miss Craig, but
I'm a Craigophile, certified.
He's busy today. He's very busy. Out with the kids. You know what that means.
He beat the charges in our book. We don't mock him anymore. But
you're damn right.
By saying he beat the charges, that's how we mock him.
All right.
You don't beat your wife anymore, right, Craigers? That sort of thing. You get it.
Jesus.
All right, time for the goal.
All right.
Goal time.
Let's goal it up because, as I like to say lately, we could put on, and it's held true. This is the episode of Steel Toe I chose this week. And not only do we have a lot of clips of Aaron embarrassing himself, but I had to pull back. I was telling Casey before the show, this is going to be a long segment. And this was me kind of censoring myself in a way, saying well, I can't clip this one because it'll just be 9 hours of Aaron, and we can't do that. I can't do that to you people. So I did my best in self-editing a little bit, and just having snippets of Aaron talking about the goal and all things toe. So let's start. This is Thursday's show, and we're on the cusp of a perfect week. I know I'm late to the party. You guys probably already know that. But we are getting ready for yet another perfect week that Aaron will tell us about. And it seems a little odd to me, some of the stuff he says about that, but we'll get into it.
Fun start. Here we go.
Yeah.
Look at this. Chrissy with $15. Not that one. Nay. Chrissy with $15 says, very funny show yesterday. Thanks. Well, thank you. Isn't that a sweet way to start your day? I'm glad you liked yesterday's show. Today's show is going to be just as good. You know what yesterday's show had? Yesterday's show had an audience that hit the goal in the first 2 hours. It was beautiful.
That is fun. You know the best part of yesterday's show? The people watching gave a lot of money.
Yes. Got to the goal. I just sailed through, just coasted.
Do you think that's what she meant, Aaron? God love her. This Chrissy was loving the show yesterday. Do you think her favorite part was how early and often everyone donated? Oh, man, I was watching the show yesterday. It was so much fun. What did they talk about? I don't even really know. I was just watching the chat, and those supers were flying in. Oh, was it fun? We had a bunch of Rogan clips. Yeah. And I had fun listening to those. I had fun. I gave Joe a little guff earlier, but I had fun listening to Bill Murray on the Joe Rogan Experience. But it was tough for me. I don't even really know what they talked about. I was just thinking, man, Joe Rogan's getting so much money to do this podcast. And that's what really puts a smile on my face. I like to think that everyone is being paid properly.
How much did they pay Bill Murray? I wonder. Oh, that's all I'm thinking.
Yeah. Does Joe pay his guests? If not, I don't want to listen.
What is the parking reimbursement situation like? That is what I care.
Does he fly them in? How does it work? I don't care what he says about John Belushi. I want to know how he got down there. Was it on his own dime?
Belushi Smalushi, are we getting a lunch fund?
Yes. Yeah, does Joe take them out? Yes. How does that work?
I was just free to create. Just free to create. 290 away from today. Remember, you guys did go over yesterday.
Look at those wrists. The shackles are off, baby. You're free to create right now. I'll tell you something. I have zero idea how many super chats we got today. We've read them, and I don't know how many there are. I'm not keeping count because I'm free to create, as Aaron would say. So fucking go for it, man. Worry about the dollars after. You're free, baby. You're footloose and fancy free to do all the creating you want. He's like, oh, man. Yesterday's audience wasn't tying me down the way today's is.
16, by the way, is the number. Here we go.
As well. Thank you very much for that. 290 away from today. So, look, you got 2 hours to get to 200. Ain't that nice? That's going to be a sweet start to the day. You know me. I'm a whore for Streamlabs, PayPal, and Venmo. Those are my favorites. I'm a millennial.
Yeah,
instant gratification.
I love it. I just love it so much. When you give me those donations, I'm a little slut for donations. You know me. I'm a dirty little whore for those donos. Oh, have I
But,
been bad? Why don't you tell me in super chat form, big boy? Oh, yeah, shove those donations in me. I'm a slut for donos.
Somewhere Rekieta is like getting a shiver down his spine right now. He's like, I've heard this before.
Oh, man, shove those rumble rants inside me. I'm gaping. And rumble rants are spilling out of me.
You gotta stop.
I love super chats and gifted memberships and rumble rants and gifted
Oh, I want to
subscriptions.
swallow them whole. Oh, I'm taking so much Streamlabs right now.
On Rumble. By the way, we are hitting a record number of Rumble subscriptions. Rumble subscriptions are the highest they've ever been. Thank you guys very much. That's from you guys.
Whoa. Isn't it always gonna be higher? Like, unless you're losing your audience.
It's a record.
You know what? Hey, guys, subscribe to the Patreon. You could be a record-setting member.
Yes.
Because whatever the number is now, we've never had one more than that. So guys, go set the record for Patreon subscribers.
And then unfollow at the end of the day. You can do it all over again tomorrow. Be at the top of tomorrow.
You can tie the record tomorrow. If you subscribe, then unsubscribe, then resubscribe, you can have like 6 records.
By the way, that is a perfect stalking tool. If I saw the same guy at the just recently subscribed weeks in a row, I'd be like, this is a monster. So that is a good.
Yeah, what's happening?
That is a good try.
Constantly donating those subscriptions and then people keeping them. And we're right around 500 members over on YouTube. So thank you guys very much.
Hold on. Let me do that's terrific. Good for you, Aaron. Let me do a little math here. 500 members paying him $5 a month. Does that knock the goal down at all? I haven't heard him mention that.
I don't think that counts towards the goal. Let's be honest. We all
Why
know
not?
That is not a goal counting.
Well, why not? I never hear him say, of course we're going to deduct the amount that I get in members every month, because that's not on you guys. Like, the people are already paying.
Short answer, greed. I think is the only thing we got here.
It's just so weird. It's interesting to brag about the amount of subscribers you have when it's actually to your detriment, because it lets people know, oh, Aaron has income every month. I don't need to super chat him.
Yeah. No members. I need the help. Would be a better ploy.
Right.
For that.
Right.
Nick is sad is the next one.
Well, this is Aaron winning the breakup. You ever heard that term where two lovers part ways? And this is how you know. Three. That's right. 4, I guess. But Aaron has parted ways with his lover, Nick, and Aaron is winning the breakup here, which is very nice to see. This is not a man, not just coping, but like kind of seems like he misses Nick. Like that's not what comes across here at all, is what I'm trying to say.
JH says, Aaron, did you see Rekieta lie about you on Camelot's birthday stream last night? Was his mouth moving?
Nice.
Then, yes, he was probably lying.
Always lying, this guy.
He's always worried about how his mouth is. You notice that?
Well, and by the like, I'm sure Nick Rekieta is a lie. I don't know much about Nick Rekieta, but I'm sure he does lie.
He's a lawyer. It's their job.
Right, exactly. That's like for Aaron to ignore that everything he says is a lie also. Like, you lied about the situation with Nick daily. What are you talking about?
The man is in a hell of his own making. Let him live there. The man's in a hell of his own making. Let him live there. He's now on the Stuttering John Glory Days angle. Somebody wrote to me.
I thought Aaron thought talking about Stuttering John was gay. How does he know all these references? It's weird.
Nick said he used to make more in a month than you made in a year. And to quote our truth, used to is a rooster in Brewster. What you done for me lately? Cry, get sad. Cry, get sad.
Hold on. We're on the verge of a really good bit. You might not be laughing yet, but what if I told you this lasts what feels like 9 minutes? Are you laughing yet? Because you will be. Listen to how long he does this.
Is this the Steel Toe or Littlefoot show? Hey.
Get sad. Miss Aaron's penis, get sad.
Wait a second.
Cry, get sad. Miss Aaron's penis. Yell about Aaron. Aaron, love Aaron. Hate Aaron. Love Aaron. Hate him. Cry, get sad. I would go back to streaming. I would start streaming again, but I'm so sad. And not sad that he's a fuck up who destroyed everyone around him. He's not sad about what Hurricane Nick did to everyone in his life to humiliate them.
Doesn't this sound like a girl bitching about her ex-boyfriend that she's still in love with?
Yes, and we heard the penis references twice in there, Aaron.
Yeah,
twice.
that was a little weird, no?
Yeah.
Misses his penis. I mean, he once
never
had
talked. Never talked about another man like that. No.
Yeah, that would mean he once had your penis to do as he wishes.
Mm-hmm. And the voice he was using there, by the way, as well. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Sad. You're so sad.
When you say penis like that, we're just gonna.
It is, and listen, like I'm sure maybe Nick's. I don't watch a lot of Nick, so maybe Nick sounds the same way when he talks about Aaron. These are two guys that I think were passionately in love with each other. Mm-hmm. Like this is how a teenage girl like he can do whatever he wants. I don't even good. I'm happier now. Like I don't even care what Nick's doing. I bet he's just jealous of how good I'm doing. Oh, we all believe
in the hell of his own making.
Yeah, we all believe. You sound very believable when you talk like that.
Got away, and that's what's
very
bothering
masculine.
him.
Whoa, go back. You thought the penis thing was weird. Listen to how Aaron refers to himself in Nick's head.
Hurricane Nick did to everyone in his life to humiliate them, except the one that got away, and that's what's bothering him.
Wait,
but
Aaron sees himself as the one that got away. Like Nick was just up at night. Oh, me and Aaron could have such a life together. Oh, if we could just get these pesky vaginas out of our bed. Aaron, I think Aaron wishes he and Nick like had something. You know what I mean? Like, I think Aaron's a little jealous that the girls got in the way of what could have been a lovely relationship. And again, like a lot of people call Aaron gay and make fun of him. Whatever. If you're gay, you're gay. Terrific. Like I said about Anthony Jeselnik, just be gay. Like, who gives a shit in this day and age? That's fine. But it's weird to then like accuse other people of that. Which, by the way, no one ever does that, right? No one just fucking slams gay people because they're hiding their own demons, as it were. That's never happened.
No, like the first 5 minutes of Liberace's show are him just calling out the gays in his audience. It was crazy.
Yeah, Aaron's on the Tonight Show. Aaron, when are you going to settle down and find a lady?
Soon, Jay, soon. Once I sell this candelabra.
He's just sad in general. He's sad that everyone picked on him. He's sad that the cops picked on him. He's sad that I picked on him. He's just sad. He's sad that when the drugs ran out, his side piece left him. He's just so sad. He really is insecure.
The side piece, by the way, was your wife.
Oopsie.
It's amazing he got that long out of it, quite frankly. He brought another man's wife into his home. He left and she stayed.
Yeah.
I don't know if he thought he was going to have that good of a run with her.
It was a dumb idea, but they were all still high on it while Aaron had come down.
About Aaron being, let's just say, a bit more physically capable than he is.
Ooh.
He really wishes he's on that little mouse thing where he's like, I could beat him up, you know. I could beat him up. Sure.
I like when a guy says, let's just say, and then says the exact thing. Let's just say I'm stronger than Nick. It's like, well, you're not alluding to anything. You're just saying it pretty blatantly.
As his man tits hang over his shirt.
Let's just say I box and he doesn't. You'll read between the lines there. It's like, no, we got it. We got it.
Of course, sweetie. Yes. Because you're a big boy. You're a big boy who's just a little sad.
We got it.
You're just a sad big boy.
Stop saying
and you can beat up anybody. Your mommy told you so. So, yeah, I heard about it, JH. It was very funny. Look, when someone who doesn't like you is breaking down, losing it, and obsessed over you, great piece of advice here. Keep letting them.
It's weird. Like if someone that didn't like me was breaking down I guess I should say someone that I didn't like. If someone that didn't like me did it, I wouldn't really give a shit because I'm honest and Aaron isn't. But if someone I didn't like was having a meltdown, we'd play it and have fun with it. And Aaron would say, well, that's not the kind of show. Talking about drama is gay. I don't talk about that drama. Well, you just spent what seemed like 45 minutes talking about how sad Nick is. So you do talk about it. So why not play it and react to it? The answer to that might be that we would all realize Aaron's at the very least exaggerating. And Nick isn't that broken up about it. Like, I think from what I know, I don't know a lot about Nick or Kata, but from what I've seen, I think Nick likes fucking with Aaron and likes that it riles him up. I'm sure there's an element of, I don't know if jealousy is the right word, but like Nick wants to fuck with this guy, obviously. There's an element of like hostility there, for sure. But I think he also just likes seeing how Aaron reacts to it. And Aaron's giving him everything he wants because he's so bad at it. If Aaron was owning Nick might be like, oh, fuck, I messed with the wrong guy. But Aaron's just not great at that. So everyone looks bad.
I watched a show called Fargo, and they're looking for ideas for season 6. This is the idea, the whole thing, the whole scandal. William H. Macy play Aaron, just do this whole thing and weird.
I love that show. It would be great for us, but then the rest of the country would be like, I don't understand. The crime this year is he sent a picture of a naked woman? That's the whole thing?
It's like 7 episodes in a hot tub. Why is this?
I don't get this.
And how embarrassing, like it's Camelot's birthday. And he's like, do I have to hear about this fucking retard from this other fucking retard again? Is this really what we're going to do?
Oh, he's still going.
He's become so obsessed, he doesn't even know what's going on in pop culture. Like he doesn't know how to turn a phrase, tell a joke, throw a quip out there. Nothing.
That's not
so
what
it's got to
pop
be
culture
very
is.
difficult for him to watch me just kind of.
Now, hour 2 on why he's obsessed with me.
If you turn on a top 40 radio station, they're not like, hey, kids, we're turning phrases today. That's not what pop culture is. TMZ is not telling you the latest quips.
Go
in
on
the
with
zeitgeist.
the show, which is what we're doing now. Let's talk about some twerking, shall we?
Aaron segues. Okay, I always wonder if you and Craig think I've made a mistake on the time that I give you. Because sometimes,
yes.
Yeah, I'm not. Because my segues are his favorite. Where he's just like, oh, Nick is really embarrassing himself. All right, gang, donate while I talk about twerking. What do you say?
The first time I cut clips for Steel Toe, I ran into that. And I was like, well, wait a second. There's like 5 of them now. So I started to get a pattern.
I do want Aaron telling us what the next topic is, usually.
Yes. This one's called This Can't Be Right.
Oh, is something amiss? Let's hear.
That's where we've gotten. Thank you very much for the $5, W-Man. $275 away from today's goal. Go ahead and throw us a couple of bucks. Get us down to 200 by 8 o'clock. You got plenty of time to do that. It is the final goal of the week. It is 4 straight weeks of perfection if we knock it out today. All right.
Casey, you were on this program a couple weeks ago, remember? We didn't talk about Aaron last week, so I can't confirm to you what happened last week. But the last time we did a show, you and me, Casey, we talked about Steel Toe. Remember, I believe there was a very humiliating episode where he was nowhere near his goal and then goes, all right, guys, I guess I'm just going to stay on until you give me enough money. That factors into perfection. That was 2 weeks ago. He's like, oh, yeah, 4 straight perfect weeks. What factors into Aaron being perfect is him going, oh, God, I guess I might have to quit doing the show. We might turn the lights out here. 185 away. We have 30 seconds left. Is anyone going to donate? That's perfect. That's Aaron going, boy, we've had a perfect week. Like, he just lies. Aaron, I watch this show for the goal. Don't lie to me like that. It's very frustrating.
He enjoys fudging the numbers. The next clip, Mike.
He does. He certainly does do that. So maybe that's how you get to 4 straight perfect weeks, is just kind of, rounding up.
Let's go to Dive Bar says, come on, Flinty Gecko. You can break the 500 mark and go down in Steel Toe history.
I like the shit talk. Hey, Flinty Gecko, do you want to be part of history or not? You want to be
Where's
the Barry
MR?
Bonds of steel toe?
Where's MSO in all of this? 'Cause that's what I need to know.
WHMH 101.7 top donations. Miss Tay is on top. Now, is she really? I've been counting her Australian money as American money. Let's see where she really would be.
Then
if
what
I
the
wasn't
fuck
such
are
a-
we doing, Aaron? What the fuck is all this? You've centered your show around the goal. It's why I get up in the morning. It's all I have, Aaron. I'm a very sad man. All I talk about is drama. I need you, Aaron, to do a show. I need you. And you've been lying to me this whole time? What am I to believe in?
Why do I even study exchange rates an hour before your show? Why do I even do that?
That's how I keep up with this. I think, okay, here's what the Australian dollar is at today. Let me...
I thought we were going to make a killing in Japan today, Aaron. Killing.
Isn't that crazy? Listen to what he says. So it's 500 that the person has or something like that. And listen to what he says the exchange rate is.
She really? I've been counting her Australian money as American money. Let's see where she really would be if I wasn't such a lazy cunt. She would be at 230 American dollars, but we're counting it as 300.
We're counting it as what?
363.
363. So we're off by over $100.
Flinty Gecko is having a heart attack right now.
What does any of this mean?
No stakes. Not even kept right. It's the worst sport ever.
And there's no way that's the only foreign donation that comes in. Like, I'm sure he gets them all the time. Aaron's got a very big audience all over the world that loves giving him money. So what am I to believe? That none of this was real?
First.
Very upsetting.
Flinty Gecko is in second at 250. Dill Dog
Or
is
is
in
he?
third at 200.
Yes. Flinty Gecko's got a gripe. I got to say.
It might be 130.
Yeah.
100. And then look at that. Nick the Milkman at 72. And we've got a perfect week, and we only have 3 people over triple digits. That means a lot of you have been throwing in a little bit at a time, and I really appreciate it.
Shout out to the
Thank
role
you.
players, you know?
Thank you
Yes.
so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you to the Robert Ory's out there.
Who's Tom Brady's favorite receiver? You know who that is, Casey Day?
Deion Branch.
You're way off. It's the open
Okay.
receiver.
Oh, guy. Okay. Look,
He finds his man. And that's what Aaron says. The open wallet is his favorite. Whoever is willing to give him $10, he doesn't care who it is or where they are, or even if it's really worth $10. As long as some money is coming in, Aaron, that's how Aaron operates. He's very generous in that way.
This next one is called Woo Jokes. Woo Jokes.
This is I've become familiar with Aaron's bits. And there's a thing on his show. And listen, I'm not going to criticize him for this because there's things today, for example, you could take that R. Kelly clip and be like, what the fuck are they doing? Why are they doing R. Kelly talking? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know the backstory on this show as well. So I'm not going to like critique his bits in that way. But it's the way Aaron goes about talking about it. Paying himself homage is what's frustrating about this. So they're talking about Mayor Wu from right here in Boston. There's some clip that Aaron found that Mayor Michelle Wu is a part of. And Aaron says, what is her brother Ken Wu from the Mighty Ducks? Now, I don't get that joke. They're just two people with the same last name. I don't really get it, why that's funny. But like I said, I don't know all the backstory of this show. I don't know Aaron's humor, so who the fuck am I? But then the fans pile on, and they're like, we know more woos, so we can make fun of this. And that's what Aaron's doing here.
Das Optic Nerve says the best Wu was Old Dirty Bastard. Oh, yes, of course. Yes, Mayor Wu, could you say hi to your brother Tang for us? Be appreciated.
I don't, Wu-Tang.
Oh, Chips and Dip said the
I don't
best.
personally get it,
Her father, famous Gopher hockey coach Doug Wu. It's Doug Woog, you asshole.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Don't
Get
try
the
to
fuck
reach.
out.
There's
Get right
plenty
out of
of
here. You piece of garbage. Pick up your shit and walk out of here. There's no room for that kind of messing around.
I remember Pryor's Woo work back in '79. Had the aisles rolling.
That's right.
Woos out there. I think my favorite Woo of all time must be Ric Flair.
Okay, now based on what they're doing, I don't mind that. That's fine. It's a funny reference. Hey, it's off the beat of what everyone was thinking. You already hear Aaron laughing at himself. Listen to what he says about his own comedy here.
If you don't think that I've been hilarious this morning, I have news. This show is not for you. And we should lovingly part ways.
All right, we got something new for the outro.
Well, don't overreact because there's a couple of things that might really need to go in there. So we might have to pick and choose, but you're right. That is a great quote. I'll tell you, if you don't think this show has been hilarious today, meaning my show, you're probably right. It's totally fine that you think that. Aaron is like, oh my God. And he's doing this every day. He's like, we've done such a great show. We've done a show worthy of you giving me so much money. If you don't think I'm hilarious, I don't know what you're thinking, man. Like, to have that ego, I think what's endearing about Shane Gillis is like he doesn't have that ego about himself. And he probably should at this point, you know? But he doesn't present it that way. It's what's off-putting what we said about Anthony Jeselnik is having that ego. To have that ego about yourself and do something so bland and boring every morning, it's astounding to put yourself in that elite category where he's like, if you don't think this is hilarious, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. In a way, I do envy that confidence. Like, I wish I thought that someone not liking this show was completely unfathomable. Like, but I get it. If you don't like the show, that's fine. Aaron's like, if you don't think I'm hilarious, you need to get that brain checked, my friend.
It's the greatest line ever. I need to hear it again.
If you don't think that I've been hilarious this morning, I have news. This show is not for you. And we should lovingly part ways.
That is kind of perfect for the outro, if I'm being honest. You might be right. Well, we'll rank them at the end because I think there's a couple other examples that I wanted to throw in there. So we'll see which one's best.
I'll tell you this. For every one of you who leaves, there's 900 people who need to be seeing this because it's the show they've been looking for. Whoa.
Hurry!
Hey, I can't go.
Hurry!
I can't hit the high
Quick!
notes anymore.
You're running to your neighbor's house? Put on Steel Toe! He's doing the bit about Michelle Wu.
Is it a dirty bomb? No, it's Steel Toe. Get it, turn it on your screen.
Oh, is he adding something that no one could have thought of?
Going.
No, he's saying some other people have her last name.
If you don't like my show, you're crazy.
I have news. This show is not for you. And we should lovingly part ways. But I will tell you this. For every one of you who leaves, there's 900 people who need to be seeing this. Because it's the show they've been looking for. Whoa. See, I can't go. I can't hit the high notes anymore. Let's keep going with you guys' terrible.
Not without Ricada behind you. Hey,
fucking woo jokes.
Yeah, you guys had the terrible ones. Aaron had the really good ones. Ric Flair.
Struggling is what's next, which I can't believe this man ever does.
Well, this is tough because you start to see, things are wavering a bit. And we're all rocking and reeling and hanging from the ceiling with our woos. We're coming up with our favorite woos. And that's a lot of fun. But then you start to remember the goal. And you're like, oh boy, I don't notice that number moving. Should we be worried, Aaron? But Aaron always is a steady hand on the wheel.
All right, guys, we're officially, we're not officially behind until we're over 200 away from the goal by 8 o'clock, but it's 7:30 and we're 265 away. Help out, guys. Throw in a few bucks. It's the last one. Last night we...
Hold on. 8 o'clock if they're not at 200. I didn't know that math. So by 8 o'clock, if they're not at 200, we're in trouble.
Oh, yes. Every hour, I think you're basically supposed to hit the century mark.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah. So by 7 o'clock, you're supposed to be at 300. By 8 o'clock, you're supposed to be at 200, and so on and so forth.
Holy Christ.
We struggled, too. We struggled last night. Miss Tay had to rescue us with a Gordy bailout. Everybody throw in a little bit. This is a show that runs on donations. Can't function without them. And
what do you mean? What does that? I know we've been asking it for months now. What the fuck does that mean? The show can't run on donation. So they're behind right now. and then let's say it's 8:01 and they don't have $200. Does the stream start to cut out a little bit? Like it's like that kind of choppy, like it's just choppy all of a sudden. You can't quite hear Aaron's mic, but it's still on. It's like the Back to the Future picture. It's fading. It's not gone, but it's fading a little bit. And then if they don't hit the goal by 10 o'clock or whatever, that's when just the channel disappears. It's just gone forever.
Is obnoxious. I have a guy now. He's been a fan. Says he's been a fan since 2014. Like, when I ask for money, this guy like fucking sends me like really like angry messages. Like, what a piece of shit I am. Everything. It's like, it's remarkably unhinged. But it happens.
Well, hold on. I agree that anyone that like actually cares and is pissed off, that's a little weird. But if this guy has been a fan of Aaron's show for that long, he's passionate, I imagine. Passionate about the steel toe brand. And if he's emailing Aaron going, hey, what the fuck, man? Why is there 40 minutes a day of you talking about the goal? That's kind of crazy. I think he's like well within his rights. I don't know this man. Maybe he's not handling it well. Maybe he's threatening Aaron or something crazy. But if he's just like, hey, I hate to do this, but I felt compelled to reach out after 11 years. I'm a little sick of the goal talk. to listen to that guy. Like, people reach out to me, like in the comments or message, whatever, and they're like, hey, I don't get the steel toe stuff. That's totally normal. Like, I like doing it, so that's why we keep doing it. If you don't, just don't watch it. Like, that's how Aaron should present it is, hey, if you don't like the goal talk, it's all we do. So, bye-bye. But I think Aaron feels great shame for doing this. So he has to mention it in this way and say, it's remarkably unhinged of this man. It's actually the one time that getting mad about a podcast is kind of normal because it is infuriating.
And I always say, I'm like, well, if you hate that part, do you have a 10 you could drop in?
Oh,
that would fix the whole
I
thing.
swear to God, I listened to this.
Don't want to.
I sent you the timestamps for it. I swear to God, I forgot what he said. And I thought he was going, I tricked my mind into believing he was going to say, if you don't like that part, just don't watch it. I didn't think he had the pomposity in him to go, hey, if you don't like that part, just give me $10. I swear that has to be a joke, Aaron. Like, I don't think Aaron realizes how funny he is in those moments to go, hey, if you don't like it, just, fork over a crisp tenner. What do you say?
Yeah, because you're trapped here. Can't go anywhere else. You might as well give it on up.
That's wild delusion to be like, hey, if you don't like my show, why don't you just donate to it?
Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, catch 22 after this. All you hate me, donate, please. Thank you.
It's your job, in fact.
It's your job.
Hey, the people that hate Casey Day, you should go over there and super chat him and tell him how much he sucks.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd be rich.
Do you have a 10 you could drop in? That would fix the whole thing. I don't want to do this part. But then
whoa. I didn't know that. $10? One $10 donation makes this all go away? Well, then, Aaron, if I may, here's my American Express card. Fire away.
Nothing happens. It's fine. You guys go ahead and throw in. Let's keep the roll going. It's been a great show. Really good show. It's kind of show you get, and we don't have to worry about $265 away from a perfect week. So Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo. It's very easy. The links are pinned to the top of the page. Click it.
I'm just getting what you said now that it's only a great show because of the money. He could have like broke news, but if he doesn't hit the goal, that show yesterday, awful.
Sucked. Yeah, if he had some, like if people were quoted, Aaron Imholt reports on like Fox News, Aaron's greatest dream, he'd still be pretty bummed that he didn't make the goal. And he does this thing, and we've pointed this out before, but like the we element, where he's like, this is a much easier show if we don't have to worry about that $265. We aren't. We're all fine with it.
Throw in a couple bucks. Avoid this part of the failure.
Yeah,
we got another crypto romance scam.
I love leaving those in now.
It is. It's just fun to hear where he's going next. Where it's like, oh, I want to hear about the crypto romance scam. I have to pay this man.
I got a game. We stop it right before that, and I give you 4 options of random shit that he might say, and you have
it's
to pick.
hard because I've listened to it. It's hard,
okay.
but that could be a fun game. Maybe for the audience we'll play.
Yes. This next one's called Tone Shift.
Well, you hear you hear him getting a little worried, but he's having a fun show. He's wooing, he's having a grand old time. Here's where you get a little
250 away from today. Yeah, Dive Bar says Gary uses the Imholt theory. Learn things the hard way. 250 away from today's goal. Thank you guys very much. Let's come on, guys. Let's get to 200 by 8 o'clock.
He has to muster the energy. He's like, let's for the love of God. All right, guys, let's do it. What do you say? He sounds like the coach for an 0-15 Little League baseball team, where he's like, all right, guys, what do you know what? Just have fun out there. Come on, let's do. What do you say?
I was gonna say he sounds more like a World War I trench colonel who's like, guys, over the wall, just one more time. I know, probably gonna get stabbed in the eye, but just let's do it for America.
Let's do it.
This is the last one of the week. I'm really excited to see it go down to 0. I'd really like to get that one last win for the toe. So far, 2 out of the 3 morning shows have been a little tricky. Yesterday was damn easy. The evening shows have been great. I don't want to end up in fucking gross, disgusting, barely doing a show beggar territory today. So we need to get down to that 200 by 8 o'clock.
Mind you, there are mentions of the goal I didn't clip because it was too much. And he's like, I don't want to have to start talking about the goal. It's like, that's all this is. That's all you do. The political talk is a break from goal talk, not the other way around.
It is. It's a 4-hour show, and it's a 3-hour goal.
Man, I don't want to have to do this to you guys. Then don't. This is what perfection looks like. He's like, oh, we almost had a perfect week. 2 of the days were like pulling teeth. And today it seems like we might not make it. And the show will have to end if we don't make it today. That's perfection in Aaron's mind. That's everything going right in the world of Steel Toe.
That is amazing that the goal is the main show and that his segments are his commercials where he takes a break.
It's background.
Yes.
Yeah, it's filler.
And I don't have to try on those because we already had a great show because I already made the goal. I get it now. I finally get this guy.
Yeah.
Looking good. So if we're not getting the contributions now, it's going to be rough sledding the rest of the way. Please and thank you. If you could, I would appreciate it. Let's drop in. You're an incredibly supportive audience. I really appreciate everything you do for the show. Please keep doing it. Don't make it something that one person has to come in, and I hate that too. Everybody, we give you so much entertainment during the week. 5 or 10 is not too much to ask. I know it's not too much to ask.
What? I've never heard that before. Where like, please, your donations, I'm not asking too much here. I've never heard that spin on it. Like, it's usually any donation counts. It's very generous of you to give 5 or 10. He's like, I mean, 5 or 10, that's the least you could do, right? Like, come on. You owe me more than that. You know it.
That would be just a baseline. Then you build off that, right, people?
Right. Like, yeah, I mean, if you want to give only 5 or 10, I guess. But, like, think about what you owe me. It's so much more.
Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Let's go. Let's get that number down so we're not doing this all day.
How many times do you think in his life he said that in that order? Venmo, Streamlabs, PayPal, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Like, that's got to be amazing. If you could just do a compilation of every time he said that, it would be arduous work, but I think well worth it.
Also, the funniest fucking headstone ever. If you put that on his headstone, that would be like, make all this worth it.
Streamlabs, and then a QR code.
Yeah, QR code.
Goes to his children.
You know he's got to do that.
Very much. I can't be more thankful. It's a fantastic best show there is out there. I think it's worth it.
I can't be more thankful. I'm giving you the best goddamn show of your lives. So, you know, come on.
Be more thankful, the best husband you'll ever have. I mean, we can see why people.
Well, he's like, this is the best show. So why aren't you donating? Well, if you think of all the best shows, whatever your favorite show out there is, the Kirk Minahan show, let's say, the Joe Rogan Experience, Tim Dillon, whoever your favorite podcaster is, think of the amount of money they say you owe them. It's roughly zero. You know what I mean? Like Tim Dillon has a Patreon you can donate to if you'd like. It's not a requirement to listen. So for Aaron to say like, I mean, this is the best show, so why aren't you paying me? It's like, well, we don't do that to anyone, Aaron. We've been very generous.
If this is true, I owe Kyle Dunnigan a house. Yeah. Perfection in Jeopardy, Mike.
Yeah, I've listened to Tuesdays with Stories for 10 years now. Think about the VIG that I owe them. I haven't paid them once.
I think it's worth it.
All right, Perfection in Jeopardy.
A guy.
Uh-oh.
Hey, boys and girls.
Hello.
It's almost 8 o'clock. Just turned 8 o'clock.
Wow, that was really almost. Holy shit. Time moves fast. Hey, it's almost... Who says at 7:59 and 59 seconds, just round up? It's almost 8 o'clock. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. Before he was done with the sentence, it was 8 o'clock.
I'm convinced Steel Toe lives on Miller's planet.
Yes. Yeah, it's like Interstellar.
Yes.
40 away from today. It's our last goal of the week. We're looking to have another perfect one. We're just you away from knocking out that perfect day.
A great. I think that's one of the ones I thought of. We're just you away.
That is a good one.
But I don't know. It doesn't fit as well as the one you were saying. So that's still in the lead. But what a great catchphrase. We're just you away from having a perfect show.
Also could be from Jeffrey Epstein. We're just you away. Get on this island.
You know what? He's not wrong. That if every podcast, if that podcast had an audience that donated the exact amount of money that you would like to live your life, that is true. It is kind of on. You know what, guys? It is sort of on you that I don't make more money. I should be incredibly rich, but you guys are kind of slacking on your end. Think of the content I've given you.
I smell a second goal show for Blind Mike.
Maybe.
Throw in. Pretty please. Broken record. Doing a great show. Lots of laughs. Wildly entertaining. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Rumble Rant, Super Chats.
He defines going through the motions. Very entertaining. We really appreciate you. Venmo, PayPal, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, yada, yada, yada. You guys know the drill. Come on, let's go.
That's fucking crazy.
Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. On any platform you're on, it helps us. Maybe we can grab new audience members. They come in, they throw a couple of bucks in. We appreciate that.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Who says that when they promote their show? Who says, hey, just support the show for free, like, subscribe, comment, helps new people find the show. I wish I could remember someone saying that. I can't think of anyone. I certainly can't think of a show Aaron has obsessively been listening to where the guy might say that instead of saying like, hey, give us your money. Maybe have like a politer way of asking to support the show.
If you're looking at me right in the face and you're going, fuck you, Aaron, every time you ask, I'm not going to give you any fucking money. I don't give a shit if you go away. I'm just here. As long as the entertainment's free for me, I'll listen to it. When it goes away, I'll find something else. I'm not that invested in you. That's totally fine. So all I ask...
Why is this imaginary person so angry?
Very specific, too.
Why is this listener so angry at Aaron?
That you do is hit thumbs up so maybe someone else can find the show and join you here. That
maybe you will find someone who has a lot of money they want to get rid of. Maybe you'll find someone with disposable income that they haven't dumped into this show yet.
This is the most tedious way I've ever heard anyone say hit the like button in my entire life. That's exactly what he just said. He hit the
Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. There you go. I mean, honest to Christ. 2410s.
That's very Fargo. I mean, honest to Christ.
But listen to what he's saying. Honest to Christ. 2410s. Like if 240 was too much to wrap your mind around it, think about it in increments of 10. And then it doesn't seem so daunting. Oh, I could donate $10 24 times. That's not. Why didn't you say it like that? Say it in plain English next time, Aaron.
That should be an easy number to do. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rant. Last day of the week. Perfect show on the line, and we are officially, as we always are at 8 o'clock, this is becoming very consistent. We are behind.
It's our highest rated segment.
Up next, transformative content.
Oh, well, I'm excited to get to that, but first I do want to just acknowledge. Can you imagine, like, say you're walking into work, or maybe let's even go throughout your day at work. Throughout the first 4 hours, let's say between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., you work first shift. And, you're in there, and 24 different individuals walk up to you and hand you a $10 bill. Wouldn't you think, I'm being fucked with? What's happening? Why? It can't just be generosity. There must be a ploy. I'm being filmed, or what's going on? That's very bizarre. He says, Aaron goes, well, it's perfectly doable. Not that crazy. 24, you give me $10. That's no big deal. It would actually be insane if that happened to anyone in real life. That 24 human beings just find you and hand you $10. That would be very odd, Aaron. And to show a complete lack of acknowledgement to that. To be like, well, no, just every day. He's like, I break it down in simple math. If every day 360 people walked up to me and gave me $1, that's all I'm asking. That would be so strange if that happened in the real world. Do you not understand that?
Imagine going to work and selling your daughter's candy or your daughter's, chocolate bars and getting 10 people or 24 people to buy them. That would be an amazing day. He expects that every day, twice a day.
Yeah, then the next day you're like, more candy. Who's in for more candy? Come on.
Every day. Candy bars, candy bars, candy bars.
Yeah, so transformative content. This is interesting because I've heard Aaron often say, and frankly, I think he's right. He says these shows that cut clips of other shows and just react to them, it's really gay of them. It's gay and it's lame, quite frankly. And I don't know who he's talking about. Probably Lady K and Patrick Melton. Certainly not us. We're not gay. But the people that talk about Aaron are very gay. And so I wonder, has Aaron changed his tune on that at all? Because I notice he plays a lot of clips. What would you say about that, Mr. Imholt?
195 away from... See, there you go. Now we're back on track. It's that easy.
Nice.
Everybody throw in a little bit. Let's hit $100 by 9 o'clock. God, 1st and 15 is bitchy today. He is really fucking bitch. I don't know what I did to 1st and 15. Well, I'll tell you what I did. Very charismatic. I do a very good show. I'm very good at my job. I arouse emotions out of people.
Yeah, it's too much for us to handle. Yeah. That's what they say about every big podcaster. What was that?
It's just a sound like this old guy makes when he's upset with people.
It's fitting.
It fits. Stealing another stream. I'm going to read it like I believe he said it.
Oh, okay.
Why are you stealing another streamer's content? You should do your own show. Come on, you can do it. It's called transformative content.
Oh.
It's called commenting on other shit.
Oh, good.
Radio shows.
Hey.
Oh, then Patrick Melton, fire away, buddy. If you thought you were gay and lame, the ban is lifted.
Yes.
Now you can start playing clips of Aaron, and it's totally cool. It's transformative content.
In television.
That will show up again.
Shows have been doing it forever. Oh, no. 1st and 15 has never watched a show where they play something and then a panel comments on it. Oh, poor 1st and 15. No, 1st and 15, you're not holding me to a higher standard. Don't cop out behind that.
You had a panel until she left you.
Girly bullshit. You're just you're trying to make yourself a thing. You're trying to insert yourself into something. You have nothing, so you're making shit up. It's
I agree that the man's complaint seems petty. It seems silly to me. That's because I do one of these gay shows that clips other shows and talks about them. When it happens there and he's like, yeah, 1st and 15, what are you talking about? I love this little piggy. I think they do a great job.
It's okay. You can just be a fan and you can comment on what we're doing and have fun. Or, come on, I don't have a show. I can't do a podcast. I need to inject myself into this one. Come on, honey. Come on.
That'd be tough for 1st and 15 to hear him call honey like that. That's got to be tough. And then Aaron, what's great about Aaron is later in the show, he goes, someone pointed out what I'm pointing out, that, hey, don't other shows do that to you and you call it gay? And he goes, do I need to explain this to you? the drama shows are the gay ones, the ones that talk about me. Like, he literally said that. And it's like, oh, so just shows that talk about you specifically. They're talking about literally anyone else. Like, he was playing a clip from the Joe Rogan Experience when the chatter said that. So he's saying, like, my segment about Bill Murray or Billy Corgan, those weren't gay. This one's very gay. I guess that's the line I wasn't aware of.
It's too bad he's gone because I sure could use a hypocrite police shirt right about now.
I know. Maybe they're still available. Can we buy them?
Well, he had 2 of them, so maybe. Maybe he'll sell one.
Yeah.
Voice of the fans, this one.
Oh, well, let's hear what the fans have to say. I think Aaron's going to speak for the fans, and he usually is pretty good at zeroing in on what they think about the show.
Coltrane, just knock it out. No thanks. That's kind of how I feel. Like, every time I'm like, oh, show's goal hangs in the balance. My sanity hangs in the balance. The audience goes, yeah, I don't care. Like, every time I ask, I feel like there's a portion of the audience going, Jesus Christ, dude, have we not sent you enough of a hint? We are here to watch you for free until you finally quit.
Yeah.
We love your show. Oh. We think it's great, but there's a million shows.
Hold on a second. Whoa. You had a lot of what we were saying, and then you put a lot of words in our mouth. I like that Aaron's like, here's what the people are saying. They're like, hey, man, we're just here to watch a show. We're not here to give you money. We think you're amazing. We think you're the greatest podcaster that ever lived. You know, this is what they're saying out there. It's not me injecting that into them. This is what everyone's saying, is how great I am, but they don't feel like paying me. The example I use all the time is, did you ever watch the show Rescue Me on FX? By any chance?
I know of it. I didn't watch it. But
it was written by Dennis Leary, and he also plays the main character. It's about firefighters. And this guy has sort of a turbulent marriage. And the example I always give when I think of something like what Aaron's doing here is Dennis Leary's character, Tommy Gavin, was a bit of a loose wire, had a lot of problems. But when he would argue with his wife, it would be this like knockdown, drag-out fight. And then the wife would go, of course you're great in bed, Tommy. You're amazing. It's the best sex I ever had. But I need more than that. And I was like, oh, it's so obvious that Dennis Leary wrote this character because he injects into it what a stallion he is, how big his cock is. You know what I mean? Like, he puts little things that he wants you to think about Dennis Leary. That's what Aaron is, where when he's the voice of the fans, he's like, oh, man, I don't want to donate anything. I mean, we love you. We think you're really handsome. You have a big penis. You're obviously really strong. You're great at boxing. But, like, you know, we don't like to donate. And he's like, I hear you out there. I hear what you're saying.
Everything you said is true. Also, great hairline, they're saying.
Yeah.
We are here to watch you for free until you finally...
By the way, real quick, are you a Dennis Leary or a Bill Hicks guy?
Bill Hicks.
Okay, just making sure. Sure.
Quit. We love your show. We think it's great, but there's a million shows out there. We don't really need to pay for this one. We don't really give a fuck about you.
Wouldn't that be the same logic with like Matt and Shane say? Because now you can look at Shane Gillis and say, he doesn't even need the money. You know what I mean? We just talked about Cumtown. They're leaving their Patreon open and not doing anything. And they're just like, pay if you want. We give us the $5 a month. We're not adding anything. If you want the archives, here they are. And people are doing it. People are like, yes, we want to support you guys. And Aaron's like, I know you think I do an amazing show. And you probably just don't like donating to shows. It's like, no, that's not the issue. That's never been the problem. It's the way you go about it is very humorous to a lot of people. And it's actually the reason we are watching. It's not that you do a great show. The reason I watch is to watch you do this. It's very fun. And it's transformative content, so get off my ass.
It is. And Mike, it's that time. It's rally time.
We're rallying?
We're rallying.
Oh, my. I thought 195 was insurmountable. But, guys, it's... You smell that? The goal is in sniffing distance.
I forgot my rally towel somewhere. God damn it. Where is this rally?
Let's go to All You Can Eat Negro says, did Anna make her goal today? I wish I had the fucking audience Young Turks did. I wish.
I bet their audience donates.
Getting rid of the goal is like the number one thing in my life.
Oh, whoa. Go back. What did he just say? Was he saying that seriously? Am I missing sarcasm?
No. Sometimes the truth comes out.
Let me hear this again.
I wish Yeah, getting rid of the goal is like the #1 thing in my life. Flinty Gecko.
It's a great. His segues are the greatest, where he just yell, "Flinty Gecko!" I just acknowledged something I wish I didn't say out loud.
Just forget that last part. I'm gonna say it louder. Flinty. Y'all forget that last part.
He's a man with a family. He's like, getting rid of the goal. He has criminal charges against him. He's like, oh man, getting rid of the goal is the #1 thing in my life.
He's known for being this is literally, if you look up cuck, it's this guy's picture. This, the #1 thing of getting rid of is the goal.
That's a brutal. I like making fun of Aaron and everything, but like that made me. He keeps saying this word, so maybe it's just stuck in my head when he was calling Nick sad. That makes me sad to think.
Makes me sad.
That's the #1 thing in your life is getting rid of the goal. Then find some supplemental income. Do something about it. What are you, Aaron? Get out! I didn't realize it was so important to you. Get out there and do something. Hurry! Get off your ass and start making some money. Hit the goal, goddammit. I didn't care before, but now I'm invested. I didn't realize it was so important to you.
Those St. Paul lawns aren't mowing themselves, Aaron. Get out there. $5 each.
Most important thing in my life. I don't even like. I feel gross continuing to make fun of this guy. I didn't realize it was such a tragedy.
It is like the end of therapy. You get to the end of therapy and you get to the final answer. And the final answer is always sadder than you think it's going to be about what you care about.
Yeah.
This is the saddest one I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's Aaron yelling, "Fuck you, Dad!"
Yeah.
I'll show you.
The goal is just fucking...
The goal is the #1 thing in my life.
The goal abuses him. The goal abuses Aaron.
I want to say, I listened to the guy. I want to say that I want to criticize myself and say, Mike, why would you clip that out? Clearly, it's out of context. Unfortunately, I just know there isn't any more context. He just blurted that out. The #1 thing in his life.
Ish. Yeah, getting rid of the goal is like the #1 thing in my life.
I think that's the other quote, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's the other one I wanted in the outro.
That one is pretty solid.
Getting rid of the goal is the #1 thing in my life.
I think you gotta like have all the music come down and everything, and just end with that one. So it just ends sad, like Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, a spotlight comes on him.
Gecko performing rescue duties with, well, not necessarily rescue duties. He's also trying to beat Miss Tay, who's up to 363. Flinty Gecko with $50. Thank you, buddy.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
That's a $50 sound drop you guys just got right there. That makes it all worth it. That's what Aaron does. If someone donates $50, he plays an Elon Musk drop that we've all heard, I don't know, 11,000 times at this point.
And Gearheads, you're not off the hook. You just saw it. Pay up. You just.
Oh, that's true. You guys owe me $50. Yeah. Each one of you owes me $50 because you got that Elon Musk drop. It's not like it's been an exhausting news story. I don't know if anyone knows this. Do you know Elon did the Heil Hitler?
Well, I just saw it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
It's very fresh and interesting.
I saw Bill Nye do it yesterday too. Apparently, everyone does it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Every time. Trooper 56 with $20 over on PayPal. Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much. That's going to bring us down to
and now you owe me $20.
Yes, well, yes. Sorry, YouTube, but it wasn't us that said it.
Bucks. There you go. Now you're back on track. Get it. Knock it out. We could have done this at 7:30 today. You guys are killing it. $90 away. Back
that's
on
really,
track.
jokes aside, it's really a sickness that his mood hinges on that thin a string where he's dangling by the thinnest of wires. And all of a sudden, like, someone donates 50, someone donates 20, and he's like, all right, now I don't want to kill myself, huh?
I imagine a future where like all this stuff is like considered what alcohol has been, and there's like a 12-step program to content creating yourself, and like you'll just be sitting in a room at some point around a bunch of circle and be like, "Yeah, my goal was 280 a day, and I did it twice a day." My name is Aaron, and
Aaron, no one has given you any money during this session. How does that make you feel?
They just pass around $1 so they can feel like they're getting something for their time.
Aaron gets shocked every time he says rumble rants.
frack, knock it out, win for the toe, all of that happy horse shit. Perfect week. Jump on in, click the link.
Dopamine's flowing, Mike. The chemicals are bubbling up there now. The money's coming in.
This is like, if you've ever been in a relationship and, maybe your lady, maybe it feels like she's putting on an act, that she's as mad at you as she's presenting. She can't be that mad about this. She's almost in tears. This is crazy. And then you run into someone, and she takes a phone call or something. She's like, hey, what's going on? You're like, these emotions can't be real. How do they hang on that delicate? How are they switching interchangeably like that? That's what Aaron is when he's talking about the goal, where he's like, I guess you guys don't really care about me. I guess I'm just a stupid idiot who does a dumb show you don't want to donate to. Ooh, $50. Yay! I love all you guys so much. You're my best friends. It's like, well, these don't seem genuine, these emotions.
No. Next, RFK. That's my RFK.
Well, that's about as good as you're going to hear. If you thought that was bad, then buckle up.
Rebecca with $5 over on PayPal says, Dear God, stop. You know what? Rebecca just gave us $5 to stop. Can you guys outbid her?
Okay, so I'll tell you what's happening before you hear the insufferability of it. Aaron has been doing this RFK impression, and he thinks it's really good.
Oh, no.
And he did it for, I'd say, 4 minutes before I picked up on this clip. So this is already people like, for the love of God, Aaron. I'm trying to support you, man. I'm trying to watch this show. Stop doing your RFK impression. And you might be thinking, what do you mean stop? You mean it's so good that people are in stitches? That they're holding their bellies because of how funny Aaron is? Well, I'm not here to judge. I leave that to you people. Let's hear Aaron's RFK impression.
I am willing to let you guys. I want to have a perfect week so bad, and we're only $85 away. I am willing to let people contribute Robert F. Kennedy Jr. phone sex lines to the program. Hello, SP. This is the man who loves you. I just wanted to let you know that tonight, when I'm done with you, you're not going to be able to walk straight for the rest of the weekend.
Is it Reagan?
It's Eleanor Roosevelt.
I'm going to...
Oh, he's not done.
Tonight, I'm going to spread health awareness in the bedroom. I'm going to wear the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine on my dick.
Is what I'm feeling right now how people think when I do, like, Alec Baldwin? Or
No, I do
like,
not get that out of your head.
Oh, God.
Get that out of your head. Yeah.
Because I don't want anyone to feel the way I'm feeling right now listening to this impression.
No, we feel joy when you do your voices. I
don't know.
I have
Guys,
a column of...
Let me know if Casey's lying to me to make me sound foolish. Because if it's 1/10 of this, I want to kill myself.
Well, they're not putting little whiny RFK on the super tips, and they are with Beggy Monster. So something you're doing is right.
The other problem with it is, like, even if it's a bad impression, if you have something to go with it, it could still be funny. Aaron's not saying anything. He's just like, oh, this voice is so good. Content be damned. The voice will carry me through.
Yeah. No voice and no content. Amazing.
I'm going to inject it into you.
Okay, it's probably over now,
I'm
right?
pro-vaccine all of a sudden. I'm going to give you hepatitis and the vaccine at the same time.
Oh, Aaron is loving it. His laugh is like, if you were casting someone, to be uncomfortable and, like, unfunny but thinks they're funny, and they did what Aaron just did, you'd be like, my God, we've locked up the Oscar. How did we find this guy? Yeah,
De Niro walking into Taxi Driver.
Yes, where, like, the little subtleties. How did he capture a man so desperate to be funny that he could pick up that little uncomfortable laugh of him, like, and then silence. It's why Aaron should have a co-host, even though Johnny Crutches would give him nothing. But there should be another human being there to kind of, like, take away from the uncomfortability of Aaron, like, aren't I killing it right now?
I got a few ideas for co-hosts.
We're going to use you as a human
Brendan Schaub might be needing to co-host soon. I'm just saying,
that
Brendan
could
and
be fun.
Aaron would be amazing.
Sexual experiment. I'm going to infect you with HIV. Jesus Christ, I meant to say hepatitis.
Oh, well, at least it's flawless. At least the execution is flawless.
I'm going to put AIDS on my dick and then AZT on my balls and see which one gets there first.
My God.
That was a Freudian slip with HIV, boy. Hepatitis B, HIV.
I mean, come on, folks. Am I right? Anyways, what else is going on?
Is it just me? Someone get Aaron an AIDS test immediately.
Jesus Christ. And he
The
did
audience-
that. I couldn't take it anymore. This is like a short clip. He did it for 10 minutes. At least it felt like that.
Did at the very end of it, did he go, RFK? Did he tell you who he was doing?
RFK, ladies and gentlemen.
That would be amazing.
This is enjoying it at least.
All right, what perfection looks like. We're getting to the end. This is the last clip.
You mean the
and it's a
RFK
long
impression? That's what perfection looks like? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, after that perfection, what this perfection looks like. What does back-to-back perfection look like?
Okay, so this is a perfect week. Like, we are on the cusp of a perfect week, and you're about to see exactly what it looks like. Like, put it this way. Nolan Ryan threw a bunch of no-hitters. I don't know if he ever threw a perfect game now that I think about it. Maybe he's a bad example. But if a pitcher throws a perfect game, if you were to give up a hit or a walk, still a pretty fucking great game. It's actually pretty amazing. Doesn't matter. Someone breaks up perfection, it's no big deal. If you're on the cusp of a perfect week and you don't hit it, dire straits. Everyone, the city has been decimated. If you, it is so razor thin, the line between perfect week and abysmal failure. It's astonishing because this is a man on the cusp of perfection, and frankly, he's just not stopping to smell the roses.
Sorry, here we go.
All right, guys, what do you say? We got 6 minutes left. Let's see if we can knock this thing out. We got plenty to talk about today. We got plenty left over for overtime. Just $80 separates Steel Toe from a fourth straight perfect week. Help us out. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, at Steel Toe Media Inc. on Venmo. Throw it in. MSO says, oh my God, you still didn't meet the goal. No, I'm...
my friend,
I'm worried that it
MSO
might
is
not-
here for you, Aaron.
Not happen. It's a perfect week. We've knocked out everything else. All the evening show goals have been nice and easy. Yesterday's goal in the morning was nice and easy. Monday was a super struggle. Tuesday was a mild struggle. Today's been up and down.
I like the recap of the goal throughout the week.
Yeah.
I like when you get Aaron's feelings at the end of the week. Here's what you missed if you're new to Steel Toe's goal. If you just tune in the last 5 minutes on Thursday to see how the week turned out, here's what you missed this week. Monday sucked. Tuesday was great. Wednesday was okay. Thursday is gut-wrenching.
He's really missing an opportunity here, like those shows do on TV. They go previously on the goal, or next time
And it's Aaron
on
like,
the goal.
no!
Yes. And it's always on the next time. It's always like we hit it, so he can be like, "Come on back, come on back." Yes.
Yeah, see how he did it next time.
We can finish it off strong. Let's do this thing. 5.5 minutes left to go. Links are in the chat. Click
By the way,
one of
this
them.
clip is like 7 minutes long, so I don't know how his math really worked, but
Throw in a few bucks. You get inside of $50. We got to do the 30 minutes for you and hit you up for it during that extension period. But, hey, I think we should just do the damn thing now and call it another win for the toe.
you naughty
All
boy.
You Can Eat Negro says, do you accept Snap? Well, I mean,
stop saying that name, Aaron.
Works for the Somali grocery stores. 5 minutes left. Let's do this, guys. You have no idea how much 4 straight perfect weeks would mean to me.
Oh,
yes, even if
we have an idea because you won't stop telling us. You're shoving it down our throats.
You're making a noose as you tell us. We know what this means to you.
You may be a slut for the goal, Aaron, but I'm rather prude. And you're subjecting me. You're holding me down and forcing me to suck the goal.
We're goal Mormons.
And if we have to do it this way, the best audience there is, keeping the best show there is in business the last 4 years independently. Keep it up. We're just $80 away from being at true zero, which would be
Aaron is the proof of absolute zero, and that's in content.
All my bills are paid. Starting fresh. You guys owe me $300 Monday. It never ends.
So keep it up. Everybody throw in your 5s. Everybody throw in your 10s. Everybody gift memberships. Don't worry about the person next to you. Don't worry about anyone else. Let's just get this thing done.
What the fuck is that?
Puerto Rico.
I'm on the subway, and the guy next to me, I'm like, what are you giving? How much are you donating to? I don't even have to say Aaron. I'm like, how much you donating? They're like, he's like, well, he said 5s and 10s are acceptable. I was hoping to give 20, but I don't know if that's allowed or not.
We had to cancel the game because the kids were huddled around watching Aaron. So.
And then I turn to my other side and I say, how much are you giving, ma'am? And she's like, I'm just looking into the maximum YouTube memberships I'm allowed to give. I've already given some Rumble rants. I'm just seeing how much I can give is the issue I'm dealing with now.
I called the IRS to see what I can legally give in one day over Venmo.
Yeah, then it's a tax issue after that. Yeah.
Freaking prostate puncher says, I gave you $3. Get off my ass.
It's fair.
Tronanon with $1 says, RIP Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett, the best Minnesota has ever created, passed away 11 years ago today.
Oh.
Damn, we've been 11 years without Kirby.
Why is Aaron so shocked about that?
Kirby hit the...
If you told me like Ted Williams has been dead for like 22, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, it's been that long since we've heard from old Teddy Ballgame?
And on 4 minutes left to go,
very few heroes in the Minnesota area, Mike, I think is the answer there. And you got to
Prince and Kirby Puckett.
We are not rallying right now. We are $80 away from true perfection. I'd really like to see it happen. I cannot ask you kindly, nicely enough. Please consider contributing to the show.
You cannot ask us kindly.
Doing it in the next 3.5 minutes so we can get this thing
time is evaporating
hammered out. Dub says, I tried to dono, but it doesn't let me. Try one of the other ways. Try one of the other ways.
And this guy's just fucking with him. I tried to donate, but I'm not allowed.
I see this a lot in Joey C's chat. Your PayPal's not working, Joey. And it drives Joey insane. He's like, it is working. Hold on, let me check.
At least Aaron's learned to blow by that, where he's like, try one of the other ways then.
I gave you 90 ways.
Try them all.
Please, because we need to get this 80 knocked out to call it a final win for the toe. I would hate to be $80 short for the week. It really would annoy the shit out of me, especially seeing as
razor thin margins at Steel Toe.
Banger shows this week. Suave Banana with $10
You're a big
says
stock
we hit
market guy, Casey. I imagine you pay attention to like earnings calls and stuff like that.
Yes, I hate earnings calls.
Has a company, in your experience, has a company ever come out and said, guys, I'm sorry, we have to report revenue was $80 short of expectations this quarter. And then you see the stock plummet. Everyone's like, oh God, they're failing. $80 short.
Mike, I've seen people that can say, hey, we made $5 billion more than we were going to, and then the stock collapses, and you're like, what the fuck do earnings call even mean then? Why am I on the phone here?
Exactly. Aaron is like, we could be perfect. Everything could be perfect. But instead, I'm going to cut my wrists if we don't make this $80.
Overtime, can we watch the interview with the Chinese guy? Absolutely. Father Justin Queso says it puts the queso in its mouth. $65
I'm glad you're
away.
reading all this. That's good.
Just a little check-in on free chat while he's begging for
dire
money.
times.
Yes.
From today's goal. Hey, look at that. Not my demo with $50 over on PayPal. Totally fake, guys. Totally fake.
They are afraid.
Hey,
$15.
That's not the $50. I thought it was Elon.
Yeah,
I thought Elon was the $50 sound. I'm getting ripped off here.
But he said it was fake, so maybe he's being honest with us.
No, that's him saying, hey, I know you guys know my donate. You guys think my donations are fake? I'm going to tell you they are. I'm gonna fuck with you. Just fucking with us a little bit.
How dare you reverse psychology us on this perfect show?
Yeah.
Is away from a perfect week. Oh my God! Thank you
All
guys
right,
so
I'm
much.
feeling it now.
Not
Now my
my
juices are
demo
flowing.
with that 50, making it look fantastic. $15 left, and it's a perfect week for the toe. 2.5 minutes left to go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Would be very
so
funny if you
close.
guys left that last $15 until that last half hour.
That would be so funny.
Big it on socialist media.
Be very
says
Monty
that will
Python
trigger
out
the
of us.
STDS. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it takes way less than that.
Oh, hold on.
Papa Shop.
This I don't know if you heard that. This if Aaron hits our goal, yeah, excuse me. If Aaron hits his goal here, it's going to give us all of us STDs.
Oh.
We're gonna get those STDs. It was dormant for a couple weeks. Yeah, it was dormant for a little while. We weren't talking about, but STDs, they might flare back up if Aaron hits his goal here. So I better hope he doesn't do it, because that could be devastating.
Yeah, maybe he was out in the sun. Sometimes it flares up when you're in the sun, Mike.
Sure.
Big it on socialist media says that will trigger the STDS. It doesn't. I mean, it takes way less than that. Papa Schaub says SP coming in clutch. Yeah, the comment on the $50 said, "Oh baby, I can't wait for you to sex call me as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It's gonna be hot as fuck." $15 away.
Sure.
Give us your best. We can this is one we can do $2-3 at a time. Easy enough. Yeah, we'll watch that.
I love how excited he gets for different mathematical breakdowns. Oh man, 15 is a number that actually it can't be divided into 2 evenly. But he's like, this is a number that could be it's divisible by 3. Imagine if 5 people gave me $3. How much fun that would be.
$15. Hold on, let me get the change counter. I can take nickels again.
He loves fractions and breaking things down to. He's like, if it was $20, that could be broken down. You could each give me $4. That would take 5 people. 5 of you could give me $4. 4 could give me $5. It works both ways like that. That's kind of fun.
Minus 30% from YouTube, obviously. You know, we got to keep.
Well, he doesn't necessarily do that. When he needs the money, you notice some of those calculations just kind of fly right out the window. Not that big a deal anymore.
Yeah, there's 3 steps traveling in the NBA. Who's looking? Who's even looking at us?
Exactly.
If we knock out overtime, why the hell not? 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go. I think we did decide that we're clipping out the RFK Jr.
There was a
section.
vote.
You know, one thing people do say is
it's really exciting. I want to hear what people say to Aaron in a moment, but it's really exciting to think we all just watched Aaron do RFK. When we want to watch it again, inevitably, we won't have to go back to the full show because he's going to clip it for us. You know what I mean? Isn't that exciting to think about?
I'm just thinking how much time I'll save because he did that for me. I mean, because I'm going to be watching it.
Right. You
but
don't
I
have to
didn't wanna
comb
watch the whole
through the full episode. Now you can just go right to it and be like, oh, Aaron's RFK impression. Now when I show my friends, it'll be much easier.
Aaron, more impressions. And my thing is, I do quite a few impressions still on the show. It's just, we do a lot of shows.
Yeah, it's just tough when you have that much
$15
talent,
left from.
you know?
That's maybe the douchiest thing.
It's tough for him. What do you mean? It's tough. Dana Carvey deals with the same issue.
Yeah, being not funny. Yes. Hey.
Yes. Nice slam of Dana Carvey.
Thank you.
I'm knocking it out. 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go. Who's got part of that last 15 to call it? Not another win for the toe, but the final win for the toe for the week. Throw it in. Call it a W.
Oh, I forget
Call it a
these
day.
Thursday wins are
1
not just
minute.
any win. They're the last of the week. So it's a little. It's like when you win a series. You know, it's not just winning another ball game. It's winning a 3 or 4 game series. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Aaron does think of his life. Now that I think of it, every week is a new 4-game series. And that's 4 for the morning show and 4 for the evening show.
I'm exhausted just thinking about it. I don't know how you would put that into play. That is just too much begging.
To go. 1 minute remaining. $15 away from
15.
Pay dirt. Away from the end of the line, and then on to Rumble Friday tomorrow.
How about
going.
Let me throw an idea at Aaron here, and I don't want to tell a genius like him how to run his show. When you're $15 away, what if you're like, hey, maybe I don't really give a fuck about that. it's symbolic, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, we have the goal. If we're 10, 15 bucks away, it's not the end of the world either way. How about I just do a show for the next half hour? Instead of making them suffer to the exact millisecond. Like, you need to be right down to the final tick-tock of the clock. You need to hear me talk about the goal. What if you just said, like, yeah, who cares about this last video? I'll just do a show. I think it's because Aaron is aware that everyone is there to watch this, watch him squirm. And that's the weird thing about Aaron is, like, he is embarrassing himself, but I think he's a sadist of some kind. Like, I think he likes it.
I'd say more of just a pure cuck.
Yeah,
He's pure cuckoldry.
Going to experiment with Rumble Studio again tonight, see how it goes, but I don't know. I got to figure out how to get all of the board to play through it and not interfere with the audio. It's probably doable. Shit,
it's good to
if
include
Mersh
us
can
in that
figure it out.
process.
Anybody can. A retarded goat could probably figure it out.
Hey, that's my buddy.
30 seconds left to go. $15 away. We had a hell of a rally. And
It really
then
was.
$15.
Hey, that's good. I'm
Thumbs
glad
up.
Aaron can stop and say, let's appreciate the times we're in. Because so often, you know, you forget the struggle is actually the good times. You hear so many successful people say this, like, I wish I appreciated the struggle more. Because it's like, that's really when we were having fun. Now we're so worried about meeting the bottom line, you know? That, like, those up and coming days, we didn't realize how good we had it back then. That's when you really create memories, is the rise. I appreciate Aaron saying, like, you know, we're still 15 away, but that was one hell of a rally, huh, gang? What do you say? Let's all take a moment to appreciate it. What we did back there in that rally.
I am amazed he doesn't go, hey, guys that gave 100, 200. Like, you don't want to have that go for nothing, right? Just give another 15. Like, you already gave 100.
Right, let's look at the leaderboard. These people
Yeah.
could be failures. They could have
Yeah.
their name. This could be a board of shame if we missed the goal this week. These are all
Come
just
on, Aaron.
losers that gave to nothing.
You're letting them get away with it there.
That's
Come
a
on,
good
get
point.
on your
So, Dunzo. All right, guys, ready for the final countdown. Let's see if we can bang it out before it's all over. Before we go to the last $30, Tronanon says use OBS as an ingress, mute the Rumble Studio. That is a great idea. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold on. $14.90 away from perfect.
That's a
Ryan the
hilarious
Garbage
guy, by
Man
the way.
with 10 cents.
You can send 10
on
cents.
PayPal.
Oh, and PayPal.
Thank you, buddy.
Well, you know what, gang? I'm going to chalk it up to we did it.
We did it.
We're 10 cents away. We'll give Aaron that one. And that just goes to show you, we could talk about the goal when Aaron, like, am I seething right now because Aaron hit his goal? I don't think so. It's about the journey, man. We have just as much fun. As long as it takes down to the last second, then we're having fun. You know, when Aaron meets his goal in like an hour, that's when it's like, oh, there's no reason to watch today. But when it's down to the last second, we have fun watching Aaron. He entertains us, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And like Aaron said,
Hilarious this morning. I have news. This show is not for you.
oh, hold on, I gotta go back.
As Aaron said,
If you don't think that I've been hilarious this morning, I have news. This show is not for you. And we should lovingly part
All
ways.
right, see you later.
yeah, you know what?
But
That's the one. Send that to Craig. That's the one going in the outro.
It is. That's
Aaron, you've made it.
Yes. All right, we got some super chats, Mike, and then we'll get out of here for the day.
Okay. Has Electra boycotted the rest of the show?
No. She had a phone call with her father, and so I was like, "Hey, did you boycott?" No, she's been on the phone, and so.
Well, Daddy put her in her place earlier, so.
she is. Yes. No, she's
Oh,
all good.
I apologize. I didn't mean to be so stern with her, but it was a.
No, she's all
a little much.
She's. You know why she's great? Because she gets it.
Okay, good.
Hugh What Why for $5. Aaron's moves are actually no joke. Although humorous, he may need surgery because he came off of steroids incorrectly. Go to the doctor, Aaron. Oh no.
I'm certainly not one to make fun of someone's body. I don't. That's not my place, but.
You look very svelte on here, Mike. I gotta say.
Hey, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. The one pun, $2. I want to see Aaron use his math and barter a hooker. Aaron orders a hooker would be a great show.
Yes. Now I give you. Now what you take is 30%. We have to think about what your pimp is taking. And so what I'll really pay you is $43.
That would be amazing. All right. Dang.lizard, €5. Quick reminder by us, the Disney Corporation. You, the viewer, owe us for endless hours of entertainment. So PayPal, Venmo, Streamlabs, Rumble Rants. Yes.
Yeah, you pay to get into the movie, and then throughout the movie, they're like, "This is a pretty fucking expensive movie." You know, like just because it's animated, you think it was cheap? No, we had to pay a lot of money for this thing.
100%. Like I took care of my pops when he passed away, and he was just saying nonsense at the end. At the end of Aaron's life, it is really just gonna be PayPal, Venmo, Streamlabs. What was that, Grandpa? PayPal, Venmo, Streamlabs, Rumble Rants.
I do, to be fair to Aaron, that is all of us in a way where like I have thoughts sometimes where I'm like, I'm not gonna say this out loud, but because it's nonsense. Just like something, you know, it's some Tom Myers quote or something. But imagine when I have dementia. Like,
yes,
that'll be tough. I'll sound a lot less coherent than Bill Murray. That's for fucking sure. Joe.
I'll tell you, old folks content creator house would be amazing. Just a bunch of senile content creators.
That could be fun.
That could be fun. I'm here for that. All right, Rockabee 2002, $5. I need to insert myself into this one, quote unquote. That's what Ricada said about April.
Ooh,
got him.
Nice.
Yes. And finally, our last one here, Don Fried Chicken, $9.99, always comes in with a nice Krager's
What does he have
one here.
to say?
He goes, sorry I'm late. Krager's was babysitting my daughter. Oh, no. So I went to pick her up, and they were playing hide and seek because she somehow locked herself in a soundproof basement with him. Those scamps.
Yeah. Well, Craig does morning diaper checks, so I'm sure he was making sure that everything was nice and tidy down there, which is very nice.
And Blind Mike, that's every super chat. Thank you, super chatters.
Thank you, guys. We do
get
appreciate
yourself a membership.
Yes, yeah, you can become a member on Patreon or YouTube. You get early access and bonus content. We've been watching the Baldwins lately. Maybe taking a quick break from Quincy to watch the Baldwins. So we can keep it up on what they're doing. If you want to check that out, you can do that on Patreon. You get early access and bonus episodes as well. So check that out. All free links available at blindmike.net. You can support this show wherever you get podcasts. We appreciate you. If you want to support Craig, go to verygoodshow.org. And if you want to just watch Craig without supporting him, you can apparently do that at hackridethedemon.com. And they're going to be live right now. You guys are live right after this?
That's right. We're going live. Give us like 5 minutes to pee and eat a bar of some sort of cereal food. And then I will be right back here with me and DJ Electra, hopefully, and with headlines.
If I didn't scare her away.
No, it might still be on that call. But yes, and thank you guys so much for checking us out. We've had a bunch of people follow us and say, Blind Mike sent us. So thank you, Blind Mike.
Good. To tell Electra I love her. And
no, she knows.
Okay, good. Yeah, go watch anything in particular you guys are talking about today?
We're doing an acting class. That'll be fun. We got our headlines and we got 2 segments on cats. So,
all right, well, go check that out. And then unboxing tonight.
Unboxing Eric is tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. We are out of the Senjai years and we're into the whoring years. Eric is turning into a whore in front of our eyes, and it's amazing.
Very exciting. Go check that out. Support the boys and the girls that support this show. And we appreciate you guys. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Blind Mike Gear